Why don't you guys make a list?
How's everybody's day going?
Yeah.
Was your day going good? I know you guys did a tour.
It was a stressful day a little bit. It wasn't a tour. It was actually a zoo to you. But the really good kids.
That's good.
I mean, seriously.
It was super funny.
It was super good.
First off, we go. First thing we bring out is the leopard gecko.
Oh yeah,
everybody screams.
Yeah, scream.
Just for a leopard gecko.
Were they
I was
like
scared,
or was it excitement?
No, it was scared.
It was
scared of a leopard gecko.
I know. And then the snake. They got up and like ran.
Oh,
yeah, it was fun.
And I was like, "Oh God, this is gonna be a long."
No, I kind of figured it was gonna go well.
Yeah, they did. By the end, they were holding stuff and everything, so it turned out good. But I was kind of really worried.
Yeah, that's how most of those kids go. You know, it's like when they're scared, then all they got to see is it's the Jones effects, right? You know, as soon as one kid sees another kid, then everyone else wants it, and next thing you know, like you said, I mean, it was crazy. They were freaking out about the ball python honey. And then we had literally sunrise out, you know, and they were all holding it, you know, like it was cool. But that's what's kind of nice about those events, right? Is the fact that you change. I mean, all those kids, how many of those kids said, I was terrified of snakes and now I think they're cool.
Right.
Oh,
you know,
definitely.
that was super cool.
And that's what I was talking to the teacher too, how she was like super excited because she's like, this is what I love is to see the kids and interacting. And that's what I said. I said, oh yeah, I said, they'll definitely remember this.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I think my philosophy may not be the same as other educators in the sense that I've often said, you know, the kids are going to not remember 90% of what I tell them about those animals. I mean, they're not going to care that, you know, a leopard gecko is nocturnal or eats, you know, mealworms or whatever. But what they're going to remember is holding that snake and holding that leopard gecko and feeling it. And to me, that is more important. That's why I know when we've done a lot of these shows in the past that, you know, first the teachers or the principal or whatever the case may be is like upset because the kids are going crazy.
Right.
And I want them to go crazy.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't care if they sit still.
But this is the thing, like, you know him, like there is a fine line. And his is still, I feel, a little blurred because
like
you still have to have control.
Yeah, he just wants like everybody screaming and running around.
It's like chaos, and he's like, "This is awesome," and I'm just sitting there like, "This is not okay."
I remember me and Eric did the school and.
You and Eric?
Yeah, remember Eric only came one time. He did a school with me, and it was
just
like
one time.
Yeah, that's probably the end of it. But he. You know, it was crazy. It was like, I don't know, 150 kids in this assembly.
That's a lot of kids.
It was a lot. And it was crazy. And you got to ask Eric about it when you guys do your thing because it was like we were rock stars.
Oh, that's right. It was a summer camp.
Yeah, it was a summer camp. And like, you know, and a lot of them like watched our YouTube channel. So we're YouTubers. And that's one of the things that is cool about doing the educational shows now more than ever is the fact that even today, how many kids are like,
walked in,
oh my God, you're a YouTuber.
Yeah,
and,
YouTube's so prevalent.
Yeah, so it gives you like, they pay more attention because you're a YouTuber.
Yeah.
And it kind of aids
Which really doesn't mean anything.
No,
like,
but it's just a way to get to them a little bit better. But anyways,
cool.
So a couple things, guys, before we get into any other topics. Welcome to checking in, obviously.
Welcome.
We will have some other guests. We'll talk about that here shortly. We figured just today would be a great day just to have us back on it because, let's face it, we've been gone a couple weeks. We were hoping to do a podcast last week with Stuart. It's just, you know, we're new to this podcast game and the technology is a little tough to not only record, but also to stream live. So we unfortunately couldn't do the podcast. So I apologize about that. With that being said, not next week, but the following week, I'm going to have Stuart on when we're building out the Reptarium. So we'll kind of recap that. So anyways, point is that I think that we had enough to talk about between the three of us without having a guest on this time. Like I said, I want to talk more about guests because I did a poll on YouTube. I thought it was really interesting, the results. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Okay. A couple of updates. We do have Super Chat now, guys.
By the way, we actually got $2 from Matthew Owens. We got $10 from Heaven Lee.
And,
Shout out you guys.
A big old $100.
What? No.
From One Soft Kiss. Look at right up on the screen.
Oh my gosh.
Right
what
Carla,
the heck?
That's Carla. She's amazing.
Thank you, Carla.
Remember Carla? Yeah,
Carla.
of course.
That's too nice.
Thank you,
You're too nice.
Thank you, guys. That's awesome.
So Super Chat, obviously, I was going to ask if it was working. Obviously, it's working.
Wow.
Thank you so much. It's a way to just kind of contribute to this, and we really appreciate that tremendously. So the way it'll work, obviously, when we do get a super chat, Jay will pop in. If you guys have a question with the super chat, we'll answer that. And then we're going to save a lot of questions. We may answer some questions throughout the podcast on the chat room, normal chat room. But mainly we're going to save most of it for like the last 10 minutes. I figure we'll just have like 10-minute answer session at the end. So just keep in mind that. The other cool thing is Noah, you've been working on.
Yeah, so now it's not just on YouTube, guys. It's on Spotify as well, the podcast, for if you are on the go and you don't have time to watch on YouTube. I know that you have to pay for YouTube Red or Premium, whatever it's called now, to actually have your screen on lock and still listen to audio. So we actually have it on Spotify now. So if you guys want to go over there, we'll put a link in the chat that you guys can click right now. Go over there, just follow, and yeah, it's just strictly for listening. And then there's also going to be a couple more platforms that we're going to be on, Apple, iTunes will be there shortly, and then there's a few other ones, but it just takes time for them to process and accept our request to be on their platform. So we're gonna have more, but as for now, Spotify is live. So if you guys want to go follow that, that'll be awesome.
It's cool because I know a lot of Laura, you even mentioned it, that maybe if you're driving to work or you're doing something like that, you can't watch a podcast, but you can listen to it. So just another platform. Eventually, we'll get on. We'd like to be on every platform that you listen to your podcast on. So so that's really cool. Let's see, that was it for the announcements for the day, as far as I just wanted to get everyone on. And again, thank you guys for the super chat.
School. So for the announcements.
Now let's everyone say pledge allegiance to the flag. Do they do that nowadays in schools?
Oh yeah,
I'm sure they do.
They still do it?
I've been out of school for a while. Not sure.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, well, I understand that.
Wow. Is that a roast?
He's older than me.
Oh.
Yeah, not by much though, but whole other thing.
Enough.
Yeah. So obviously I was gone last week, obviously, and you guys were working really hard back here.
Yeah.
With the Reptarium expansion, which, by the way, what is the date on that? Friday the 13th, of course. Did you know that? That the projected opening date for the new Reptarium is Friday the 13th, Friday the 13th.
I didn't think about that. I knew it was the 13th, but it's Friday.
March the 13th. So the idea is that we.
So that's lucky.
Yeah, listen.
Oh,
I feel
like that's scary. That just kind of clicked. Like I knew the day, but that is kind of scary.
Okay, so everything that can go wrong will go wrong. But
no, I think it's the opposite.
We're gonna hire security.
I think it's the opposite. I think it's kind of an omen that things are going to be awesome.
That's when the coronavirus is going to hit hard.
Oh man, Noah is obsessed with corona, man.
I'm scared. It's how I deal with things I fear is through laughter and comedy. So, it's just truly fear coming out when I make jokes about the corona.
Yeah, the corona. And if you guys, I'm sure you don't know, but for the last 2 weeks, I've had an unbelievably horrible cough.
And here we go.
No, I never thought I had the corona.
Great.
Everyone around me, Noah thought I had the corona.
I was whispering in his ear at night, corona.
I'm sorry. Am I the only one that just can think of nothing but the beer every time anybody says
what
anything?
Beer?
Corona.
Coronavirus.
Corona.
And
I
that's
was
all.
like,
And
my
before
God.
I even heard about the virus, I was seeing these memes.
What a great marketing scheme.
With people
For the virus?
passed out with
For the
coronas
virus.
and stuff like that. And I didn't even get what they were because I didn't even know about this virus.
That's how potent the beer is. It's killing 1 in 3 people.
Yeah, the beer. I thought you were talking about the beer me and Jay found in the hotel room.
No, I don't think there was any Coronas in
No,
it.
just Miller Lite.
Miller and Bud.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Bud or
Miller,
something like
boy.
that. Yeah.
Have a
And
Miller
that one
time.
weird red one.
Oh, yeah, that's right. There was a weird
Easy
one.
pale ale or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Is that the one you made Eric drink?
Yeah, for you guys that don't, for those of you that don't know, we were traveling last week, obviously, to Texas, and we stopped in Louisville, right? I think it was Louisville.
That's correct.
And we just stayed the night there on the way down because we had worked all day at the Reptarium and all that stuff, and then left at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And we get there, and Jay texts me, he's like, check your fridge, because we're not in the same room,
Yeah.
And so I check my fridge. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, oh, you got to come over here. And I go over there, and the whole fridge is full of, the whole fridge is full of beer, So of course we took that shit. Weren't going to leave it behind.
You can't leave free beer.
You can't leave free. I don't even drink.
But you're not even going to drink it. I said
know.
you should have just passed
Somebody
it on.
will.
But what's funny is that I said that we definitely, as we get the podcast room completely done, because this is just a temporary podcast room, I said we need a refrigerator and we could put that beer for our guests.
Yeah, I guess.
That would be
It's
nice.
right.
Calm them down a little bit.
A nice
Yeah.
wine rack or wine
Yeah.
fridge.
Ooh,
would
a
be
wine
nice
rack.
Well,
too.
speaking of that, this
Yeah.
is the first podcast Lori has not been drinking wine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel, not that I wouldn't like it, but I feel you push it on me, and that
He
doesn't
does.
have
He does
to be,
push
I
it.
know it doesn't have to be who I am. You know.
He's like, get her drunk.
She's nicer when she's drunk.
maybe I'll get more mad at you.
Oh.
You never know.
That could be possible.
Will we have a
too.
Lori freak out ever on the podcast? Where like
That's
she
up
just
to
like,
her. I'm sure we'll
He'll
get a time.
probably cut me off.
like
No,
It'll just
flips it.
be black.
like-
We'll just
yeah.
if it ever happens and it's just black screen
Yeah.
and does. That's why.
You guys know what
Yeah,
happened.
that's true.
Let's hope that
So-
doesn't happen.
So, anyways, you guys were busy last week. What were you doing? Because I mean, we were obviously building cages.
She did
and
a
stuff like
lot.
that. Yeah.
You were painting like the whole room. Or I mean, not room, whole building.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah, that's what 2.5 days was.
Yeah.
It was just painting
I know.
constantly,
I felt bad for you, but
So obviously
but
we're.
not bad enough to help.
I had my own responsibilities.
I wasn't sure if you were helping or not.
No, I
didn't
had
know.
my own responsibilities. You know,
I see what you're saying.
got
Yeah.
a lot on my plate.
So we were down at Universal Rock, obviously
It's a buffet, baby.
building the what?
I got a lot on my plate. It's a buffet.
Oh.
Come on, no.
I mean, you can't be throwing out words like buffet when I'm hungry.
Y'all
because
are a
then
little,
I'll-
a little slow today.
I know, yeah. So we were building enclosures down at Universal Rock. Obviously, they're coming together
Yeah.
really well. We're pretty much wrapped up down there. Obviously, shipment. As a matter of fact, I text with Stuart today, and the shipment is supposed to get shipped next Friday, a week from today.
And when will it receive?
It comes 8 a.m. on Monday morning. The
Oh, wow.
trucks arrive. So that's the install. Just really trying, really, if you remember the original Reptarium, we were like literally building the like utility room the night before. That, remember we were like finishing up painting and doing the last things the night before.
Yeah.
I had my friend, Mike and all the guys from Canada and Buffalo came
Right.
in and they were helping us with a bunch of stuff, literally right up till the day we got there. Our floors are getting done now. They'll be done
Yeah.
tomorrow.
They look good.
Great.
Yeah,
Ceiling and electrical should be done this weekend.
that's good.
And,
Then the next thing's to build.
well, yeah, I think that, there's a couple little things, but other than that, I think we're in good shape. So, we definitely, crushed the budget in a bad way. In a bad way. I mean,
Like how much? Like a lot over?
well, before we even
Well,
started,
before he even says anything,
What?
it is him.
So it was
Yeah.
just like. So when you started the budget, you were like, well, I think it's gonna be this, but
Oh no, he was like, "This is what it's going to be."
yeah,
And I'm like, "Okay, so take that and tack on at least this much."
yeah.
And he
I
went
think you were,
he went-
you were past that, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
you
my
went, you went
God.
past my tack on.
So I think that before we
Sheesh.
even started, just like I had this budget of, X amount of dollars, and before we even started, it was already $50,000 over what my initial,
How do you? Oh my god!
just from estimate. And then I bet you we probably went
Not
another,
very good at
that's
estimating.
that's a pretty big over budget, guy.
And that
Yeah.
was just a start.
that was just a start. That was before we even opened the door,
Oh god.
See, and exactly. That's
That's
why.
not good.
That's why I look like that all of the time. Just like, oh my god.
You're like,
well, listen,
you meant 5,000, right, honey? No. Add another zero to that. Okay.
well, I think that we probably, you get to a point in these types of things where you just stop looking. Because you don't want, you're like so frustrated. You're just like, so I mean, my
And
guess
that
is,
could be part of the problem.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm not even gonna look anymore. Just
Right.
add it.
Exactly.
We'll worry about it later.
yeah, I think that I bet you, realistically, we're probably 100,000 over budget.
How?
Just all the extra add-ons. It's like, I'll give you an example. Jay made up this really cool mural.
Jay is the one.
Yeah, Jay's
Jay
just all
just keeps
Jay's.
adding shit.
Jay
Me,
just keeps
my
adding stuff.
What about this great idea, Brian? And I'm like,
It's pretty
shut
much
up,
like,
Jay.
it's pretty much like
Shut
that.
up, Jay.
Yeah, but no, Jay made up
messed
this
up.
really cool mural for the birthday party room. So it's going to be like a collage of
Yeah,
all
I
the.
saw that.
Yeah, it's really
It's
cool,
really
right?
cool.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Super expensive.
It is expensive,
Yeah,
but
I just found out how much that was.
it wasn't that bad. It wasn't. You think it
I
was
don't know
bad?
what it is. Can you say or should
It's
you
like
not?
$1,000. That's not that bad, right?
I mean, it's a lot of money, but
I mean, for
It's
a
a lot of
whole
money.
wall, it's going to look awesome though. When you look through the window into
but
the
this
birthday
is
party.
this is what
room.
I'll say though.
Mhm.
You know, you're already 100,000 over. What's
Exactly.
another one, baby?
This is
Yeah.
exactly why we are where we are, because that is basically the mentality. And there isn't a cap.
Fudge.
But it's fine. Like
That's not
I'm
good.
the one who keeps an eye on the bank account, and we're still okay.
Yeah, I'm surprised that you've been so
Diligent.
well. She's been very supportive
No,
of
I'm
most
always
of
diligent with the bank account.
Yeah.
I was very. That's why he doesn't have one
Access.
debit card.
Yeah, one debit card. I'm not allowed to really do stuff, but it is funny because like I'll like charge something and like minutes later she's like, "What's his charge?"
I have all of the notifications.
It's just like, oh, I bought a new website.
Oh, yeah.
Damn.
I know you do love your domains.
I did. Oh, did you see my latest website?
Oh, God.
Did you see
I
the
didn't even
latest
know
one?
about this.
I did. I just
see
bought
what I
one. Did you
mean,
see it?
guys?
Did
What's
you
it
see
called, Brian?
It's called travelingreptilezoo.com.
Yep.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, did you see it? That was
Bought it
good,
in the
right?
car on the way home.
Yeah, I bought it literally in the car on the way home. I was like, man, every time I come up with any idea, I want to search the web domain, right? So we have a lot. We
I
got to have
know
like
we do.
50 URLs.
I know.
At
we do.
least.
At least.
Minimum.
When
minimum.
I'm scrolling through trying to do something, I'm like, what the hell?
And
We
then-
need to get rid of half of
And
it.
you only use BHB and the Reptarium
That's it.
and the tipster.
The tipster, yeah, which we've got to work on more. But I think that I always have this. I think I know I'm going to send you to your grave with my business ideas. But I think a traveling reptile zoo would be awesome. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure, for
yeah.
somebody else.
So,
Well, yeah, it could
so
be
this
us.
is it.
Yo,
It's a carnival, right?
Right.
It's the same sense as a carnival.
exactly.
Pitch up tent, running around, set up the Reptarium.
Right.
Dude, that'd be such a pain to do.
It would
It'll be cool, but
If you
it's
think
just
about
like,
it, if you had a semi-trailer that these enclosures wheel right into, they
Yeah.
wheel right into, you just wheel them right out and you plug them in.
I mean,
Jay,
And they're
I
like
know what you mean.
Reptarium.
Go
like,
get my wine.
You see this? I got you.
yeah, just like I'm talking like Reptarium style, you
Or
know
a
what I mean?
shot,
Like really
something, no.
nice. And I talked to Stuart about it. You know, Stuart's on board to make them for me.
can
you
we
know,
wait
so-
a little bit
Yeah.
before we do
Listen,
the traveling
don't- you
carnival
don't jump
zoo?
From a stupid volcano to a traveling zoo. And again,
That's what
without-
Dad does.
Without any even.
Well, listen, I've got the
forewarning.
domain. I've got to use
Well,
it.
listen. All right, let's move on. Next topic before I kill you.
Well, no. So, anyways, we were at Universal Rock, which, by the way, I'm going to digress for 1 second. You know, Stuart's real spiritual, like, you know, yoga and, you know, stuff like that.
Oh, that's
Have you ever
cool.
heard of Sadi Guru?
Sadhguru.
Jay's laughing over here because I follow him on TikTok.
Is that a
Stuart,
you do.
yeah, punch up Sadi Guru. This guy is amazing. I mean, he, you know, and this is not Saudi, but Sadi.
Oh.
Like,
Sadhguru?
not like Saudi Arabia. No. S.
Dati.
Like H, I think it's H, D something or yeah, right there, Sadhi Guru. There it is.
Oh,
there it is.
wow.
This dude is amazing, man. I tell you what, he's a yogi that is like one of the most powerful yogis out there right now. And
Can you explain to me what a yogi is? The only yogi I know is the bear.
well, I think I'll be totally honest with you. I probably will let Stuart do it because I probably wouldn't do it justice if I was explaining it. But this guy
Okay.
has such amazing mentality on life, and I think you could use a little of that mentality.
Wow.
I think you can keep your opinions to yourself.
No, I'm just saying. I think I could use it too. I like this. You should follow him. You like his sayings and stuff like that. Very good. Anyways, back to Universal Rock. Go ahead.
So, like, does he kind of just, like, meditate? And then
Yeah, a lot of
then,
meditating. Yeah.
He's just sitting there and he's and then he's just like, write down this quote, and then he tweets
Maybe.
it.
Well, something like that. But I think he travels around.
He's
He
got
just said
quite
the
the
other
gig.
day.
Yeah.
I think he's kind of like the Gary V of yoga
Jesus.
without the F words.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
So he's got his own Instagram.
It's a pretty good analogy, though.
It really is.
Gary
Seriously.
V of yogis.
Yogis, yeah. Although I think he was before Gary V. So Gary V is more like the Sadi Guru of
Curse
foul
words.
language.
Sadi G.
Yeah, Sadi.
Sadi G.
So I like what he said the other day. He said,
What'd he say?
when you wake up in the morning and you've went through the day,
All right, I'm up.
right? You've gone through the day. You think of all the things you did all day long. And if you're really truthful, 95% of what you did was stupid. And that's where brilliance comes in. It's to realize that we're stupid almost all the time. We're stupid because we don't realize how unintelligent we are.
Well,
I don't don't need that in my life.
No, it's a conceptual thing. I mean, it's maybe a little
I don't
crazy.
need someone telling me I'm stupid.
Then
No, he's not saying you're stupid.
Screw you, Yogi.
Well, then technically, then that saying is stupid.
Exactly.
Because 95% of what he says is stupid.
He says the same thing. Yeah, I agree.
Why am I going to follow
you'll
a
like him.
stupid Yogi?
Oh,
We're gonna-
wow. Wow.
Oh gosh,
That's disrespectful.
Slow. Listen, yeah, no. I like that philosophy. We'll talk to Stuart about this, and this will be a good podcast when Stuart. 'Cause
I'm
when Stuart comes
scared.
on 2 weeks from now, we'll talk about Saudi Guru, but we're also going to talk
Maybe
about.
I won't be in that
I
one.
was just thinking the same thing. Maybe this can just be you and Stuart.
Well, it was going to be, but now you guys are involved. But,
Okay.
but I mean, Stuart lives it's a cool life, right? Because I mean, he's Australian that moved to Texas. He's got his whole family kind of involved in the business. He builds these. I mean, he is, like I've said, as passionate as I am about animals, he's as passionate about rocks and making rocks.
Yeah. That's the cool thing about life, you get to choose what you do.
Yeah, and he loves it. This is what he said. He goes, he said, I make.
Well, look what we do.
Unless you marry someone that wants to do what he does.
It's still a choice. I still choose.
That's
yeah,
true.
it is true. It
It
is
is
true.
true.
But Stuart says he builds rocks when he's happy,
And sad
and he builds rocks when he's sad.
because it makes him
So
happy.
No, it just makes rocks.
Well, I mean,
Whoa.
there's not a whole lot of depth to that because that's pretty much every day. Like, I come to work if I'm happy, and I come to work if I'm sad.
Yeah, but he does it because he wants to build rocks. It's not because it's his work, I just think I find Stuart an amazing person, and
He makes some cool damn rocks.
he makes some great rocks and trees, and
Let me tell
and he
you.
also is a very spiritual
He
guy,
is
so
very
we can talk about that.
He's
really
got
talented.
he's got that acacia tree on lock. All right.
He does. Man.
Nobody
The tree
does
of
it
life.
better.
The tree of, I don't think he's ever done an acacia tree though.
He does the banyans
He
a
does
lot.
banyans, and the palm trees, of course. We're trying to get palm trees for the front of the Reptarium.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to talk to the building
Are palm
inspector.
trees
Yeah, write that down.
So where do palm trees originate
down.
from?
Oh, shit, I don't know. man.
Like, you know what I mean? Because
Hey,
like,
do you know where that?
Hawaii.
Do you
because I know you got those
I want
like
to ask. Yeah, Google that shit.
those like
I don't know.
banyan trees. Like those are like African, right?
No,
Or
banyan trees I think are down southeast.
Southeast. Okay. See, I don't know
Southeast,
anything, guys.
yeah.
You learn
But I
something
don't
new
know
every
where
day.
palm trees are from. They're from let's see, France and what?
New Zealand.
Oh, this is a dwarf one though. This is a
Oh,
dwarf.
You know what?
It says occurs above
We could be-
the 44. I don't know. It's some say Florida, some say
South
whatever.
America and Asia.
South
Some
America
sort
and
of
Asia.
Actual palm
Oh, there
tree.
you
One
go.
thing we do know is that it came from the planet Earth. Okay.
Well, we don't know that. We assume it. Maybe it came from Mars.
That's very true.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Could have come. Yeah. So, anyways, universal rocks. I'll wrap up my thoughts on that. Enclosures looking
Cool.
amazing as could be. Going to be
Amazing.
very heavy. They come in 10 days? They're coming. It's going to be pretty amazing. I saw a picture of the turtle pond today finished.
Yeah,
Noah
looks cool.
Noah
Did you
showed
see
to
it?
me.
What'd you think?
Yeah, I mean, definitely.
Yeah.
Looks cool.
Yeah, I can just wait till the waterfall.
It's gonna be
It's
cool.
just-
I'm
this is the thing. Like, pictures never do them justice.
No,
you
they
know what I
don't. They
mean.
don't.
So I see it, but then it's going to be a whole nother thing when you see it
gonna
in
be
person, and then
cool.
once it's at the Reptarium installed. You know what I mean? It's everything all just.
Oh yeah,
comes
here's
together.
a couple.
I'm just
pictures
excited.
of like this. This is an interesting enclosure here.
This is my
What
favorite.
is that for?
I don't know. That's the problem. I mean, it's one of those enclosures that's really cool, but it's a little bit hard to tie. Like, we can do almost anything in this one. A snake could go in there. We could put some branches and put a lizard. This one, obviously, we're thinking maybe black-headed pythons. I'm thinking about maybe putting like 2 or 3 black-headed pythons in there. The
The
problem
ones
is,
we already have.
Get
yeah,
cold.
the ones we already have. The snack, crackle, and pop. The problem is that they
big.
they do eat other snakes. So I
Oh.
don't
Yeah, I was going to
know.
say, can they
Crikey.
cohabitate?
You know, I've talked to a couple people that say that might be okay, but I'm a little worried.
Whoa,
This
is that ours?
This is ours.
That's
and this is
cool.
the one I was talking about, Lori, about the albino iguanas.
We're
So,
getting albino iguanas.
I'm thinking about it. Yeah, thinking in this
Yeah.
enclosure, I think will be perfect for them. That's the other angle of it. And of course, the turtle pond will be on the left side here where that window is right there.
That'll be awesome.
So yeah, so we've got some decisions to make as far as what we're going to put in.
I
all
say
the
we
things,
get
but
it.
it's looking really good.
We should get iguanas.
Yeah, I think Lori, thought it was a decent idea. A
I
lot
do
of people
too.
ask about albino iguanas, or not just iguanas in general. We have the rhinos. We are
Now-
putting a Cuban iguana in, so that'll be cool.
So when you say albino iguanas, which type are you talking
They're
about?
green iguanas.
Are you talking? No, not the species.
Yeah.
The actual type, like the Tom Crutchfield
Yeah,
orange
yeah,
ones,
yeah. Well, yeah.
or like the.
See, it's hard to say. I mean, I don't know what's available because I don't want to get babies,
Right.
or well-started ones because baby season's coming up. I could get almost anything, and like you said, The Crutchfield like hypo
Those
ones
are
are really
awesome.
cool. So we'll see what's available and
Yeah.
what the price is. Obviously, you can
those
get
are
an idea
awesome,
of
awesome.
some of the craziness there, but.
That'd be sweet.
They're definitely really beautiful animals, and I think it might be good. The thing about the albino iguanas is that I'm going to be totally honest. I'm not a huge fan of green iguanas.
They can be a little nippy.
They can be a little bit. Yeah, they like to whip their tail at you. They like to do it. So I'm not a big fan of them. I think they're cool, but I don't think I ever wanted to keep one.
Right.
But the albinos, weirdly enough, because they have an eyesight issue, they don't see very well, are very tame.
That's
Which
cool.
it's a little bit of a bummer, right? Because because of this mutation, they're
Yeah.
actually more docile. But anyways, point is that
They're cool.
we might get those for that one enclosure. And
That'd be sweet.
and I know what you're saying, Laura. You're 100% right. And that's one of the reasons I remember I was talking about the enclosures. I remember the last time when we installed, I remember seeing your face the first time you saw them and be like, oh my God. And these ones are way better. So I can't wait to see your
that'll be cool.
both your reactions. But so that's that.
All right,
Okay,
Universal Rock.
Rock is done. Any other super chats, Jay, or no?
We had a couple like $2 ones and stuff like
Okay,
that.
you can
but-
mention them if you
Okay,
want.
I didn't
Yeah.
want to cut you
Yeah,
off.
no,
My bad,
you're
brother.
fine. Yeah, just anyone that's super chat, and we always appreciate it. And again, it's somehow recuperate the gazillion dollars I spent on podcasting equipment.
Got Larry R. He threw $2 over at us.
Larry,
Sent
what's up,
for
Larry?
for the wine for Lori. Got Lori some wine. Sent
Thank
to
you,
Chambers.
Larry. See,
In America.
that's
yeah,
what I said. If you designate,
And then Carissa
The
also
wine.
shot us
Yeah,
$2.79.
Shout out Carissa.
But that's in CA. I don't know what
so,
that is.
Yeah, so what is that? What's
That's
that?
Canadian,
That's a weird.
young
Is that
buck.
Canadian?
Yeah, no, I know that, but it's just weird what $2.79 is. I wonder if that like
Okay.
relates
Fine.
to a certain amount.
$3
it's the
bucks.
same.
Maybe it's
Whatever.
$2 cash. Yeah,
Probably
US.
$2.
the
Yeah.
exchange rate is.
Whatever.
Anyways, thank you guys. I appreciate that very much.
Do appreciate it.
Corona.
So one of the things we're talking about doing for the Reptarium
What is that?
is what do you think? No, I don't even know if you know this. We're talking
Probably
about maybe
not.
having an after party. So we'd be open 4 to 9, and then maybe selling some tickets.
Only if there's a disco ball.
disco
There could
ball.
be.
I can
That's
get us
it.
one.
Could go, yeah.
I know a guy.
Yeah.
Disco ball. There's got to be a DJ. I can DJ.
Well, we got the speakers.
Bang bang.
Yeah, there you go.
You know what I
So
mean?
no, we're thinking maybe and then I guess so. Do you approve like say like 9 to midnight or something like that? Closed
long as the
only the
lights-
VIP.
As long as the lights can get low, you know, there's a little disco. Got some lights flashing around. Oonch, oonch, oonch.
Good. So
Just-
you're good.
Yeah, I mean,
So do you think we should do it
I'm
both
fine.
Friday and Saturday, or just Friday?
I
'Cause,
won't be
the
there
problem is, I
Saturday.
think you won't be there. Why?
It's Valentine's Day.
No, this is when we open.
Valentine's Day is
That's
on a Friday.
and this is March, not
Oh, I thought we
February.
were talking about February.
Although we are having a Valentine's Day event at the
Yeah,
Reptarium
I
as
think
well.
that one's already sold out.
That's crazy.
Really?
Oh, Olivia, thank
only
you,
been
Olivia,
available for
and
like a couple
Heaven
days.
Heavenly Knees. Thank you. Didn't she already do a super chat?
Yes, and on top of that, Olivia asked if you were going to be sending Ace out to Nerd for the breeding season.
Yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan. I really would like. I've been so
really?
and
Who's Ace?
Ace the Jailbird's python.
Oh, I know what it is.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that.
I didn't
Yeah,
even
he
know
has a
his
T
name yet.
positive
How does
albino.
she know this and I don't know this?
I
She
mentioned
watches
it
the
on
vlog.
Yeah, she watches the vlog. You don't. You don't watch the vlog. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so Kevin has a male T positive, and Ace is a female, and so we talked about
Is
setting it
that
up.
pretty or is it not?
Oh no, it's super pretty. It's like
Because-
orange.
Glowing.
It's like orange.
'Cause
It's beautiful.
sometimes,
No,
like,
it's
Orange.
You
orange.
know, I
That's how I
prefer
like
the
to call it.
normals to
Orange jelly.
albinos.
Orangelo.
Orangelo Lamangelo.
Yeah, exactly. Which is that's a so Orangelo and Lamangelo were supposed to be two kids in Detroit that were named Orange Jello and Lemon Jello.
Jello.
Turns out it's an urban legend. It's not
an urban
true.
myth.
Yeah, it's not even true.
Of course it is.
It's not
The fact
real?
that you would really think that
I
a woman
live-
goes, I don't know what to name them, and looks on the menu and goes,
I thought that was real my whole life.
I thought so too. I thought it was too.
Lemon
I'm depressed now because I
know.
really thought that was real.
I bet you there's probably people named
Lamangelo.
We need to get
Around.
someone
The
in there.
problem
to do
is
man.
that it's such a good name. Like it's one of those names where you're just like, oh, what's up, Lamangelo? Like it sounds so good.
it does sound good.
Lamangelo,
That's what I'm saying.
Orangelo,
I wouldn't
Orange
be
Jello
surprised.
isn't as good, but
Lamont. It just like really flows
Oh
well.
my
Got
gosh.
another $50.
Carla,
Damn.
Carla, you're so amazing to us. We appreciate. What is this, Lori at 11?
From your big boy.
Chewy. Oh, her snake.
Chew. That's right. She
Oh,
got
that's
that.
awesome. Thank you.
11 feet 4 inches. That's a carpet
huge
python,
carpet
right?
python.
That's a carpet python?
That's
Yeah.
a carpet python.
That's ginormous.
That has got to be one of the biggest
is
ones.
she-
11 foot? That's
What is
crazy.
she feeding it?
Oh my gosh, yeah, I know.
Pigs.
Lamangelo.
Lamangelo.
Pigs.
We got sidetracked. What were we talking about before the Lamangelo?
Who cares? Just probably wasn't
This
important anyways.
conversation's probably
Okay,
done.
no, let's go back to the Albert's pythons. What we were talking about.
Are
So,
you sure?
Yeah. So the point is that I feel bad because obviously I've been so busy. I haven't even talked to Kevin in a couple weeks, and so I do need to work that out to get that out to him to breed it because it's probably breeding season now, and I need to get it to him. He's a great guy, and it'd be a cool project. Believe it or not, there's a guy over in Europe that actually has now produced the caramel albinos, and I just saw that he had another clutch of a caramel albino to a het that had like 10 or 12 eggs.
So, okay, you're
They're
saying
beautiful.
caramel albino and T positive. Same thing?
Yeah, basically the same thing. And it's basically, it looks like an albino golden child retic almost, like orange sherbet. It almost looks like
You
orange
know
sherbet.
how I love the retics? I have no idea what that looks like.
Why do you not
I
like
don't-
retics? I don't
I don't-
understand.
Let me
know anything
elaborate for
Okay.
all the reasons.
about this.
Okay, go ahead.
They're assholes.
They're not.
They bite.
They do not.
They're
big.
They are big.
They piss
They
all
piss.
over.
Some do. So
Um,
you're 50% at best right now. 50% at best.
Don't
Let's
tell
think
me.
of some more
Don't
stuff.
tell me if I'm right or wrong. I know from my
Well, they're
personal
not mean.
experience.
They're not mean though, and they're
A
not.
lot of
Another
them
$2
No,
from
that's not
Joshua.
true. Joshua,
them are.
thanks.
Just
Diaz.
saying, much
Don't
love.
tell me
Thanks,
what's true or
Joshua.
what's
Thank you so
not.
much.
And a
Hey,
$10
Chris-
from Christine.
Hey, Christine, how are you? Kilroy, remember Christine? She's awesome. She's good.
I love Christine.
Yeah,
She's cool, man.
she is. No, well,
Hi,
thank you so much, Christine. She has a lot of cool snakes too, samboas, and I thought I just saw her with a scaleless rat snake, if I'm not
So
mistaken.
I got a
that's pretty cool.
question. What would
Let's
your
hear it.
next tattoo be on your sleeve? I was looking at your sleeve. I see some blank space. Same here.
There's a lot
Yeah,
of
you got
blank
some
space. Yeah.
holes.
What's like your next animal on that arm?
So those of you guys that don't know, African animal sleeve, which is
Yeah.
complete, goes onto my chest. Now I'm working on the Australian
Yeah, it's
animal
been a
sleeve.
while since
It's
you
been
got
too
one.
long.
Me
It's
too.
been too long. I want to get Bob Tyrell is going to be finishing my left arm, and then after that, I've talked about I'll probably start tattoo collecting from
Yeah.
like famous tattoo artists. Speaking of tattoo artists, Tyler's coming up.
Yeah.
Nolan. I think he's coming up on March 25th. Be on the podcast, number
Maybe I
one.
can get a tat.
And then maybe we'll get a tat. That'd be pretty
That'd be
sweet,
cool.
huh?
Yeah.
So, anyways, great guy. I like him. I'm super excited to have him up. So,
Australian
we'll get that.
animal.
Australian animal. I don't know. I've got about a dozen.
Chupacabra.
That's Mexican.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sure they
Well,
migrated.
what do you have right now?
Right now, I have a quokka. I have a cassowary. I have a platypus. I have a croc, a parenti, and a koala.
Koala.
So there's
All
like
right,
there's
so you got no
kangaroo.
carpet pythons.
yeah. I've thought about some snakes. That's the thing. Is
Or-
black-headed python. I
yeah.
think would be cool. Carpet python would be cool.
Bearded
There's-
dragon.
You got to
Oh,
do a
bearded dragon would be pretty cool.
kangaroo.
Well, the roo I think might go on my chest because I've got
Yeah.
a leopard on my right chest. I think a kangaroo, like that iconic.
It's like staple.
Yeah, like that iconic. I thought either a roo or koala, but I've already done the koala.
Hmm.
Maybe I should have done the koala on my chest.
Too late now.
Yeah, it's
What
too
were
late
those
now.
birds
Well, there's
that were right
Oh.
outside?
the
of-
cockatoos,
The big-
or,
Is that what they
or
were?
kookaburras. They're both.
Okay. I
There was
don't know.
kookaburras were the ones that were feeding me. We were
Yeah.
at a place called a friend of ours, Johnny Weigel, who owns the Australia Reptile Zoo. We're up in Gosford, and we stayed at his house. And every morning, the cockatoos would come and eat the seed, and then they would throw the meat to the kookaburras.
I just had. You have to throw a huntsman on there somewhere.
Oh my god! I seriously, as
That'd
weird
be
as it is,
horrible.
as weird as I wouldn't throw a huntsman, but I did think about possibly a funnel web would be pretty cool.
That would be dope.
Yeah, because they have
Wow.
those big fangs. They rear up, and they're
I'm
pretty
just
cool.
thinking. I mean,
No.
that is one of my biggest memories of
Oh my
being
gosh,
there. Is
huntsmans.
they're everywhere.
I'm not ready.
Yeah, they are everywhere.
Like, and it's terrifying because they're not even big.
Yeah.
But they're everywhere and they're deadly.
I'm never going.
Well, they're not deadly. Huntsmans aren't deadly.
never going.
They're-
We
they-
got
they're-
$6.66 from
Oh, fuck.
Soulless Honky.
That's
Oh,
evil.
soulless honky,
Evil. Take
man.
it back.
He said he'll see us in a few weeks.
What in hell?
What does that mean?
We're dying on Friday the 13th, man. We're out.
Jesus.
Jesus, we got the Grim Reaper fucking coming in.
The
here.
Corona.
Brianna
well,
threw us
I don't know
$5.
who he was calling out, but 1, 2, 3,
Not it.
Not it.
Oh shit!
You're it.
That's it.
Shit.
Oh no.
Oh man, we're done, guys.
Jesus.
Then
we got-
Brianna.
Brianna shot us another $5 too,
Oh,
just for
thank you.
love.
Thank
Shout
you
out,
guys so much. You guys are amazing.
Brianna.
Seriously, you don't even understand how much I appreciate you. Someone I saw Carla mention about Tyler and Chandler just being awesome. It's an interesting thing.
Chandler, who's
Chandler from Chandler's Wildlife?
Chandler from Friends.
Yeah.
I
No,
like Chandler.
the interesting thing is like I like Chandler stuff. You know, he has like King Cobras and he has a bunch of stuff like that. He's doing really well on YouTube. His stuff is really cool. The thing is, I don't know if he hates me or not. Like, I don't know. I've never had any interaction.
It's 50-50.
Yeah, I don't know.
It goes one way or
So I
the
kind of,
other. There's no
I know
in-between.
Tyler and Chandler are good friends, and I reached out when I talked to Chandler. I said, "Hey, see if maybe." When I reached out to Tyler, I said Chandler can come up too if he wants, or maybe sometime. And he didn't respond. I don't know if that is because Chandler hates me or he.
Well, you can't just
I know.
say, "Oh, he hates me." Like you gotta know first. You know?
No, I'm not saying he does. I'm just saying I don't know because he doesn't have any. He doesn't follow me on anything like on Instagram or Twitter or anything like that.
Then.
No, and you just don't know. Like you said, Laurie, like there's this weird thing with me where people either are like, "Yeah, Brian's cool," or "Brian's such an asshole. I hate that guy," for whatever reason. And I don't know if Chandler's that guy. Hopefully, he doesn't have a problem with me, and hopefully we can get him up. I'd like to go visit him as well because I know we're going to go to Florida at some point.
Florida. Somebody just sent me an email. This is a dope email, Dad.
Oh,
They said
haunting.
ghost hunting.
Yeah, I saw that.
They were like, "We will take you on these ghost hunting trips, blah, blah, blah." And I thought one of two things. A, that would be awesome, and I want to go ghost hunting. And B, what if they just take us out in the middle of a field and just murk us?
It's so funny you say that because I
Why
was
is that
thinking.
That's
funny?
exciting too.
No, I was just thinking
don't
that the other day. I reached out to remember Vincent from Mexico that took us to Chichen Itza. So I reached out to him because we're going to be going to Mexico, and I said, "Hey, could I rent you for the day? Like just have you take us somewhere like maybe a cool ruin that is off the beaten path or something." And that's exactly what I thought. I said, "What if this guy like decides? I don't know him. We just met him one day. What if this guy takes us out and frickin',
I don't know.
Murders you?
Well,
Yeah.
there's a good chance if he takes
possible.
you out because I'm planning
You're
on
not-
spending
yeah.
every day on the beach.
yeah, I thought that'd be the case."
Wow.
I just want to see. I love Mayan
sad.
ruins. Like Mayan ruins are so dope. Chichen Itza is amazing, and I
is
thought just
cool.
maybe going to. He remember when he was there, he said he'd take us
Oh, yeah.
to some places that were like off the beaten path that nobody goes to, and
Mayan ruins are crazy because, like, didn't they used to be at, like, the top of the stairs, and then they would, like, roll a head off the stairs or something?
I'm not sure exactly how.
No,
it
like,
works.
you know what I mean,
Well,
though?
they murdered people.
Like, they would,
yeah.
like, have the head, and then they would just, like...
They'd have sacrifices. Like,
Yeah,
they
they would
have
like
sacrifices,
chuck the
yeah.
head down the stairs and go boop 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 boop, and
Yeah.
then go down. Then they play soccer with it. That's how
No,
soccer.
it
Actually-
wasn't soccer. It's
originated.
another different thing. But you're right. What
was-
happened is the
They
losing
throw it
team.
to the rings.
Yes,
Right.
it was similar to the Harry Potter
Quidditch.
Quidditch, yes,
But with the
Uh-huh.
head.
but
'Cause
it
we
wasn't with a
actually-
head.
No,
No, remember it was with an 8-pound rubber ball, but if you lost, you got your head chopped off.
yeah, and then maybe
Yeah.
they
Now, that's
also
a
threw your
good
head
game.
in the ring. That's what I.
At the end, the winners get
The
to
winning
throw the
shot.
head, get the head.
Exactly.
head
We got
spin.
another-
yeah,
we
it
got
was
€5.
Crazy, yeah.
€5.
€5
Wow.
euros
Damn.
Yeah.
from Jack. He just
And
Jeff.
showing some love.
From
Thank
the
you
UK.
so much, man.
And
Thank
Brittany
you so
threw
much.
us a $2.
In the UK. All right.
Brittany
Let's get-
from-
Hi from Las Vegas.
Hey, what's up? We need to go to Vegas. Oh, the end
She's
of the
from the strip.
we're going to Vegas in November.
That's my birthday.
For Noah's birthday.
Birthday, yeah,
Yeah.
21,
Trying to tag along.
21 birth. So, Brittany, hook up with
If
us
that
there.
Corona doesn't get us, we'll be there.
Yeah. And the UK, it's getting late in the UK, so thank you for staying up and hanging out with us.
Hey, good night, because you're going to bed soon.
Yeah, that's true.
Good night.
Yeah.
Me too.
No, you're going to bed as soon as this podcast is over. I'm going to sleep. No, it's been some late nights lately. There's no doubt about that. But one thing I did want to bring up, and
What was that?
You guys love Christmas.
I mean, it's cool.
Yeah, my
There's,
family's a big Christmas family.
Cookies and,
Yeah.
milk.
But when is like the when
is
is
what?
the
Acceptable
time to take the
Take
tree
the trees down. I knew you were going to say that.
I was just curious because this morning I
Well-
woke up.
And the trees are up.
Now listen, I don't have a problem with the trees being up because we've been busy.
Yeah, that's the
And
problem.
honestly,
Yeah.
this is the thing.
That is the problem.
If I had a day off in the last month, they would have been down.
Yeah.
I've been working every single weekend.
Yeah.
I haven't had any time. Well, actually, I've taken 2 trees down
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
far.
I helped
So-
with the big one.
So,
I
but
was
no,
out of
I was
town.
literally thinking the same thing. Like, this is probably it's almost February. This is probably the longest they've ever
But-
been up.
Well-
but I
Listen
don't
to
know when I
this.
have time to take them down.
Listen to this.
Spring.
This was
Spring.
awesome. Okay. So I'm helping Mom take down that big tree and
Oh,
right when we
the
walk
live
in,
one,
right?
'cause
The
you were
live
gone.
one.
Yeah.
Man,
like
Mom's
12-footer, yeah.
Mom's like, "Oh, let me help it." Exactly, 12-footer. Say that again. And freaking, we open up the
12
door.
footer.
What do? I carry it one arm over my head, right? And I throw it like a javelin.
Get the hell out
I
of here.
swear to God, Mom was right there.
It was so dead. So as we're taking the ornaments off, branches are coming off with the
dope.
ornaments. There was more of the tree on the ground than what left.
I've never felt more of like a man.
But
and
he's like, I know.
I
He's
was
like,
just like-
don't help me. I got this.
and I just had it up, man, and I just threw it, and I was like, I could be a lumberjack.
That's exactly what he said.
I remember thinking that right then
You
and there.
said it.
I thought that maybe I found my passion.
Lumberjack.
You know what? Oh my God.
What, remember those competitions?
Yes, I was
Yeah.
just gonna say, where do they do those? Because we should totally go
Have you
there
ever
and sign
seen-
you up
Jake,
for those log
Jake, can you do me a favor? Can you
competitions.
try to pull up lumberjack
They
competitions?
they flip the logs.
It is
they-
so hilarious.
They chuck stuff.
Yeah, they like
do
climb up the pole and they got to get to the top and then saw the top of the damn thing
I
off
could
and stuff
so
like
do that.
You know,
And I
it's-
got it in my blood too. Our cousin does that for a living.
That is true.
Oh, that's
Kenny,
right. Yeah.
Kenny.
Well, he's not a lumberjack. He's a tree trimmer. Oh, here we go. Here we
That's
go.
basically
look
the
at
same
these
thing.
fucking guys, man. That's a real man right there. Look at this.
Is this a competition? You trying to see
You
who
gotta
can
chop,
chop it down?
You gotta chop through it.
Do you think you could
first.
do this, Noah?
Hell yeah! Give me a big enough axe. I got that.
Look at
Bang,
this.
bang.
I mean, they have chainsaws these days, man. It's
Especially
just like-
because these guys. I mean, I'm not even
Oh,
trying to.
that's how they climb it. This is the one where they got to put
Oh,
the
yeah,
thing
they
in,
gotta put
and then they got to go up to the top.
I'm not
and
trying
I
to-
think what they do at the top is they chop the top off. First one to chop the top.
I'm not trying to be mean or nothing, but these guys' physique, it's not looking that good. So
But you know what? It's all about the power.
I
Noah,
guess
these
maybe
are,
it's
these are
the
athletes, man.
maybe it's the
They're
beer
athletes.
gut. It helps them,
Could.
like, cause it's more
It helps
stable.
with the swing.
It's got a stable, core.
So, anyways, we got way off a track here.
There's no track to be had.
So my point was, I don't. I just. I'm not
What?
judging.
Point is,
I'm not judging.
You're not going to be a lumberjack.
No. I'm not judging.
I might be.
I'm just saying that I woke up this morning and the trees there's fine because I'm busy. We ain't got time for that. But
Right.
we had the lights on this morning. So like the trees there, it's cool, but the lights are on.
Well, it's still pretty.
Because
Still pretty.
A lightless Christmas tree is
That's
just
just
sad.
sad.
Yeah.
Exactly. If you're going to have it up,
Might as
the
well be
lights are going to
glad.
come on.
Yeah,
That's true.
so that's cool. That's good. We'll just keep it up till next year, I think.
Cool.
Well,
so,
yeah.
just so you know, Reptile Keepers for Brian Barchek
Oh,
hopped
yeah.
in the group. Michelle came in,
Hey,
donated
Michelle.
$5.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you,
Michelle.
Michelle.
And then on top of that, we also got $20.
From Salmon Boa, 420.
Saying thank you for everything you do for the
Yeah,
reptile
thanks,
community. You guys
man.
are the best parents. That's
Thank you
awesome.
so much.
And
No,
then we
thank
got
you guys.
just $10 just for love.
Oh my gosh,
Jessica.
you guys are awesome. No,
Jessica.
seriously.
Jessica.
I've seen some Christmas.
That's a
Christmas
good
Yeah, I
tree
name.
got some
love in
Christmas
there,
tree
too.
love in there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. No, thank you guys, really seriously. But I did want
What's up?
I think Noah, you were. I don't even know if Noah's alive for this event, but
I've
I
been
wanted to
alive for
bring.
a while
I know.
now.
I wanted to bring this up, because I want to keep. I want people. I think the podcast is an interesting place for
For
people
what?
to learn some stuff about like our past
To
as
bring
well.
up topics, to put stuff on the spot. Okay, where are you going with this?
No. I wanted to talk about. Do you remember? As our reptile, we've been doing this for 30-something years.
Yeah.
And obviously, there's been some pinnacle moments. I think that really helped us grow as a business. And I always say that I think that the first thing that ever happened to us that was amazing, that really took us from like pretty low rung to like, oh man, these guys are serious, was the albino Honduran milk
Yeah.
snake. And for you guys to know, we brought the very first albino Honduran milk snakes into the country back, I don't even know, it was like early 90s.
Yeah.
And at the time we had a pretty decent sized collection of snakes, but we were just, one of so many people that had almost, snow corns and ghost corns. And then our friend over in Germany, Stefan Broghammer from M&S Reptilian, contacted us. And this was before emails. So he called me and he said, hey, a customer of mine produced
That's
an
how long
albino.
ago, children.
People
before the
called.
internet.
Before the interweb, before Al Gore invented the internet. So, anyways, so he called up, and it was I can't remember. I think it was like $2,500 for this albino Honduran baby, and I think there was two. So I think we paid $5,000, and then there was some possible hats or something on that lines. So that was a lot of money because we were like early 20s. We
And
just
I think if I'm not mistaken, you were still working a job at that
I was
time.
I was absolutely working a job. That's where the story gets interesting, really, and because of how we did it. We send him money without even seeing pictures of this animal.
Oh God, that's risky.
No idea. Yeah, it's really risky, and we had never imported any animals before ever. Really importing and exporting at the time was really rare. I mean, there wasn't a lot of snakes being imported or exported. So I remember, Lori, I don't know how many months it took you to figure out how to just even import. I mean, because that had to be hard just to figure, because you can't, there
was no internet.
Yeah.
So you had to
Exactly.
read
So
books?
it was a lot of phone
Calling,
calls.
yeah, calling, yeah.
Phone calls and finding out and doing stuff that way and mailing forms and
Oh, that's right. We had to mail. Yeah, it was like you couldn't fax or email the form. You'd have to mail them. Yeah.
Wow. So
So the moral of the story, not the moral, but so we finally get to a point where we're ready to ship, like we're ready to go. And I can't remember exactly. So I was working a job and we had to go to Chicago.
Yeah. So you worked and then from
Yeah,
there
I worked at like 5 o'clock at night. We drove
got in
all the way to
car,
Chicago.
Drove to Chicago O'Hare.
Yeah. And then we missed one piece of paperwork. Remember that? We got there and they were like, oh, where's your, whatever, 4177 or whatever the case is, because no one, like you said, what the problem was, right? You talk to Fish and Wildlife, they give you what they need, but then customs needs something else, and then this person, then the airline needs something else.
I'm lost, guys.
Yeah.
I'm lost.
Well, so it was a lot of paperwork.
A lot of paperwork.
So we get there, and I remember you Lori doesn't cry much. I remember you crying.
Because she worked so hard.
Because this was a Friday, and I was actually, the weird thing is, I had to work at 5 a.m. on Saturday. So I worked all day, drove there, had to drive home and go right to work. And if we didn't get them Friday, this was wintertime too, it's February or March, they would have to stay there till Monday. And this is in winter, it was kind of scary. So anyways, point is, finally get the paperwork. Thank God someone at Customs did it. We get this box, and I remember opening up the box, and for the very first time, we saw the albino Honduran milk snakes. Do you remember that all, Lori?
Yeah.
I mean, what did you think about it? I mean, they were beautiful, weren't they? I know she's just shaking her head.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, it was nice. It was beautiful. But so anyways, we get them. We drive home. The whole story was my point is that this was so incredible that we made this. Well, no, there's more to it.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, so we get home.
Yes.
And like I said, I've got like a half hour before I have to go to work.
Yeah.
So I take a shower, whatever. I go to work. It's a short day because it's a Saturday. It was a 5-hour day. I get home at like 12:30, and the entire house is tore apart.
What does that mean?
It means the whole house is tore apart, and Lori's like,
Mom lost the freaking snakes?
I get up and I go. So they were in bags and they were tied in bags. So I go and I open it up and I untie the bag, and one of the snakes was just gone.
It was just gone.
It was untied.
The albino.
And I looked everywhere. Like I was tearing the house apart. It's just gone. Yeah.
Oh, and actually, let me back up a second here, because if you remember, we were on the way to the airport. Or no, we weren't on the way. It was earlier in the morning. I got a call from Stefan saying that one of the two were gone from his shop. He couldn't find it. It had gotten out of the cage. So now the shipment was coming. Remember that? And he thought maybe someone had stole it. And these were the only ones in the world. So I was like, I paid for the only ones. Now someone else may have stolen the one. Now I've got competition type of thing. Do you remember that?
Vaguely, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
but we opened them. We had opened them when we got them, so we knew we had them.
Right. Well,
in Chicago.
My point was that he found the snake and had his guy have to drive 2 hours back to the airport to open the shipment to put both albinos in. And so we knew we had them. We got home. I get home. The snake is gone. One of the snakes.
Yeah. And so same thing. We're just tearing everything apart.
Okay.
It has to be here somewhere or whatever. And I don't even know how that even happened.
It was crazy, but literally, so ultimately, after we're going crazy and I'm flipping out and stuff like that, there's a styrofoam box inside a wooden crate. That's how you have to ship international. And I go, did you check in the box? And I remember her yelling at me, do you think I'm a fucking idiot or something crazy like that?
Probably.
Yeah, something on that lines.
Yeah.
And I literally, as she's yelling at me, I pull the box out and it's curled up underneath the styrofoam.
Under the styrofoam,
and you're
between the thing.
You were like, what'd you just say you were, honey?
Yeah. No. Trust me, I was just so happy. I was like, thank the Lord. But and then I remember we went right down and put him in cages.
That's horrible.
But
That's gotta be stressful.
it was. But I just thought it was an
very.
interesting story, just from the standpoint that there were two males,
Yeah.
and like I remember when we finally produced the albinos, we had also had the Anthristic condurns from David Doherty. Remember when we bought that from down in Florida? So I remember flying to Houston, Texas for a show at the ETHS, and I remember leaving with like $20 in my pocket. We were young, so money was like, I mean, we weren't making tons of money.
But he always spent it all.
I was good at
Eric.
spending money.
Eric Chambers.
Yeah, the thing is, like, I mean, what's that saying?
Pretty much.
You never have to worry about your kids doing drugs if they're into
they're
snakes
broke.
because they're so broke from buying snakes. That was me. But I remember flying down to the ETHS with like $20, and this was before airplane security, because you helped me with this one.
Yes,
Remember this?
yes.
We both literally, this was like, she could come to the gate with me, even if she wasn't flying.
Yeah.
So we both had like all these Honduran milk snakes like taped to our body. Like taped to our body. And then when we get through security, you go to the bathroom and you take them all off and put them in your bag.
We weren't the only ones. People did it all the
Yeah,
time.
people did it all the time. It was
That's
like
not
the
good.
smugglers.
I mean, yeah, no.
It wasn't really smuggling. I mean, it was like, just
But
safe shipping.
Instead of shipping. Yeah.
But so that's important though. I just saw something today from. It's funny that you said Gary earlier. It was from Gary, and it was just him telling people like, it does take money. Like you have to take risk with sometimes a lot of money to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And right out of high school, I did the same kind of thing that you said. You were like, you spent like $5,000 on your snakes. I spent like $4,000 on my gaming computer / editing computer.
Yeah.
And that was all I had. And that turned out pretty well because I made my money back,
Yeah, I
and,
know all those edits.
now I do YouTube for a job.
Yeah.
So it worked.
Yeah. No,
Take a risk,
you gotta
though.
take a risk. No, it definitely is.
It's
And we
time
took
for
a lot.
another one, though.
Yeah. Well.
It's time for another risk.
I'm
Well, here we got some super chats to help you with
Yeah.
your
Thank
risk.
your risk, man.
We got Jason A. He's actually from the Reptile group, Reptile Keepers with Brian Barczyk as well.
Yeah, and
For
by the way,
$5.
shout out to the Reptile Keepers for Brian Barczyk. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, they're
Thank you
great.
so much. You guys are amazing, and you support me and our family and everything.
We got one from Stephanie. She's from Putnam, Connecticut. And she
Connecticut.
just says, I love
Rock
you
on,
guys.
man.
We
Good
love
job.
you too.
Thank
We
you,
love
man.
you. Smooches.
Patrick
Mwah.
Patrick Savage. He wants to know how you and Lori met, and is Lori a former boxer or bodybuilder? Because she's
Yes.
got killer arms.
Yeah.
Can you show them?
no.
Flex
Show those
them?
guns.
Flex them.
man.
Let's hit it. Come on, flex it.
No.
She said no. She's
No,
got bigger ones than all of us.
I am not a bodybuilder. And I don't know. Like, it kind of makes me feel weird because I just had this conversation with my mom.
What?
So, random story, which I don't know. It's okay. This can be a topic if you'd
Okay,
like to
let's
change
do
the
it.
topic.
Let's do it.
So, I am not a person that necessarily, well, at all, wants fame and wants
Right.
to be recognized.
Right.
And more often, I go places and people are like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
I know you from the vlog, which is very weird. Like, I mean, I went to go pick up your prescription from where you're getting your teeth pulled, and the pharmacist was like, hey, how's Brian doing? I'm thinking, did he just come and pick up a script? Does he hang out and talk to this guy? And he's like talking like he knows you. And then he's like, I just love his channel, da da da. I'm like, okay. So now this guy knows what medication I'm picking up. Great. Like, it's just weird. You
Well,
know?
it's just,
So
Wisdom
anyways,
teeth.
yeah.
a daughter of my mom's friend works out at the same gym as us.
Okay.
So like a couple weeks ago, after I got done training, she was there. So it's somebody like, obviously if you go to the gym or a place a lot, like this is a person I've seen. I don't know who
Right.
she is, but I just recognize her or whatever. And she was there and whatever. And so at the end, she actually comes up to me and she's like, hey, she goes, just, by the way, I am Vicky's daughter, friend of your mom, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, hey, nice to meet you, whatever. And so I was telling Grammy about it, my mom. And so we're talking about the gym, and then she's talking about how she's talked with Vicky about, I told her she should do rehab for her arm because she
Right.
had surgery. And I said it'd be good to go with a trainer and stuff.
Yeah.
And she goes, yeah, I was talking to Vicky, and Vicky's like, yeah. She goes, you don't want to go to that gym because that gym's just for bodybuilders. And I was like, No.
No,
Like,
no, a lot of
I
yeah.
said, no. I said, you could work with our trainer. Like,
Right.
you can do rehab. You can do all
Yeah,
kinds of
sure.
stuff. There's certain ones, like the guy who owns the gym is a bodybuilder and he trains athletes.
bodybuilders and
I
stuff.
said, but no, this and that. And she goes, why? Like, yeah, I couldn't do the exercises like you work out for a bodybuilder. I'm like, no, I don't. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
look like a bodybuilder. She's like, you don't. And I'm like, no, Mom, I don't.
You just work out to be healthy.
Yeah,
That's all
yeah.
you work out
Yeah.
for.
Yeah, I said it's the opposite. Like, I mean, not that there's anything wrong with it. Like, if you like it and you're trying to do the physique and
Yeah.
compete, like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just personally not what I want. But
Yeah.
I do that all the time. Like, I'll see the other competitors there and I'll look and I'll be like, I don't look like that, do I? Because that's not what I'm going for.
Yeah.
No.
Some of them go over.
So when people say that, it makes me feel like, oh my God.
You don't look like
am
a
I looking
bodybuilder.
I don't
No.
think I do either, but people say that.
No, it's good that you're in shape though. But I mean,
Yeah, you're
there-
just in
there's
shape.
There's that line, right, where some women look good, which you do, and then they go a little too far.
Right, well,
and
and
then they
that's-
look like a little bit too much like a guy.
Well, right, and that's what I always ask our
Which
trainer.
is fine.
I was like, "Do I look like that?" And he'll say, he goes, "No." He goes, "You physically can't look like that unless you start taking something."
And yeah, and
you
that-
know
and
what I
that's-
mean? I'm like,
yeah,
all right,
well,
because
and
that's
the-
not my end
yeah,
game.
And that's
like, I
the
don't
thing,
want to.
you know, there's a lot of women that are really ripped that aren't taking stuff that still look like women that are really ripped.
Yeah.
Usually, from our experience, it's when they start looking like a guy, it's because of
Right, because that's when they're
Testosterone.
getting
yeah, it's all the
wider
tests
and they're
everything
getting
else
right,
like that.
exactly.
Yeah, in this in
So-
the
I need to
roast.
start taking some tests, boy.
Some testy.
Get some lats on me. You know
Some
what I mean?
wings.
Them bat wings.
Got some wings.
Yeah, that's not what I'm interested in.
Fly away.
Yeah, so
on
that
me.
was so yeah. She does not work out, or she's not a bodybuilder or a boxer,
Or an X one either.
an
no.
ex-boxer.
Fly
Although
away.
she has a hell of a punch.
I did do a kickboxing class with
Oh,
Jade
that's
once.
right,
It
you
was
did.
terrible.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
hated every
didn't
minute because
like
you know
that,
what?
yeah.
I don't like cardio.
No.
And that was all cardio.
All right, guys. So Tiffany asks, what kind of music do you guys listen to?
Okay.
So
Dad, you go first because yours is the strangest.
Freaking metalhead.
Strangest.
Metalhead. No, I actually like. It's interesting. Obviously, I grew up as a heavy metal guy, satanic rock or some shit like that. Love
Yeah.
Merciful Fate and Sabotage, and I mean all kinds of stuff. Weird thing is that I remember Dwayne, one of my best friends since I was like 14. We went to go see Slayer when I was like 14 years old and paid for front row tickets at this not a real big place, to be totally honest with you, maybe 500, 800 people
Yeah.
fit in there or something like that. So it's weird fast forwarding all these years later and hanging out with Carrie from Slayer.
that's
You know what I
nice.
mean? It's like I was 14 paying to go see him. Now we're hanging out with him. So I always liked the heavy stuff when I was growing up. Now I don't listen to as much heavy stuff anymore, although I don't mind it. Sometimes I get in the mood for it.
some
and
good
stuff
King
like that.
Diamond.
Yeah, King Diamond. I mean, I
Jam out on the way to Georgia.
yeah, I was loving. Every now and then I get in the mood for that. But weirdly enough, Lori, I'm not a big country music guy, but Lori turned me on to Florida Georgia Line, who I like a lot. So they're a good band.
Sideways.
They're
Yeah,
all right.
sideways in a
Saturday
pickup
night.
truck on a Saturday night.
I know they're all right.
No, I like them. We went to a couple
You
of their
had fun.
concerts.
I
Oh
did.
yeah, Noah came. Yeah,
I
we
had
had a
fun.
good time. So
What is kind of weird is that I'm kind of surprised it wasn't a trend before a few years ago is when it got really popular. Like I listen to a lot of hip hop and stuff, and you guys know what that is, just like hip hop. And it got popular probably like 2016,
yeah,
where people were just getting these face tattoos, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And
69.
it always kind of surprised me like that it wasn't a popular thing in like your genre, like when
Right.
you were a kid. Like,
Yeah.
like when you're like, say it, blah blah blah, and then you're just like, why isn't these guys got like pentagrams on their forehead or something? Like,
Yeah,
you would think that they
tattoos
would.
as a genre were a lot more unusual
Yeah,
back.
they were
Even
more-
even
they were
like
more
your arms.
taboo,
Yeah,
yeah.
even your arms, no one did. And the face was like unheard of.
I know. There's like, I saw this one guy, and I don't even remember who it was because it was literally just a random guy I saw on Instagram, and he literally had a fucking school bus right here,
What?
right?
School
A
bus.
school bus, and then I just remembered.
Wow.
I just remembered, Mom. I showed you this when I saw it. This was 2017. Remember the dude that had Anne Frank on his entire cheek right here.
What?
A mural,
A portrait
of Anne
of
Frank.
Anne Frank on his entire cheek.
Oh my god.
That's legit,
I mean,
That's crazy.
That's
It's
legit.
just like,
Like, why?
and the reason.
Hey,
I
Jay,
mean,
can you
it's a
try
good-
to find that? Can
It's
you
a
Google
good
that shit?
book, but come on.
Look up
Yeah.
Anne Frank face tat. It'll pop
Yeah,
up.
that's got to be
But-
sick.
but
man.
what I'm-
That's awesome though. That's That's commitment.
And it's literally, it was like, in 2016, 2017, it was like, I'll call it the Xanax
Holy shit.
pandemic. Yeah, this is the guy.
Wow, look at his
And
eyes
like,
are out
so
crazy
like
too.
these guys, they would just get so high on these Xans, and then they would get these tattoos on their face and be like, oh.
So they called it Zan Frank, huh?
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Exactly.
Zan Frank.
It's like, exactly. They get high on Xanax, and then they
Wow.
would just wake up with a face tat and be like, Jesus, I got Anne Frank on my face? What the F? Like, are you serious? And then you have to live with it for the rest of your
That's not
life.
a poster to not do drugs.
Crazy,
I don't
man.
know.
It's crazy.
I
And
just woke up with Anne Frank on my face.
yeah,
That's where she's been hiding. That's
That's where
crazy.
she's been going.
imagine that, right? You just go to bed,
No.
or you just wake up and you just got fucking Anne Frank right there.
Like I I think
And not even a good one.
no, not that wasn't good. That was not good.
I mean, it's not bad. Don't hate on it.
No, I hate on that
Yeah,
shit.
it's not good.
Yeah, that's not good.
I would get it.
On your face. Yeah. That's
I might.
nice.
I
On
might.
his butt cheek.
On my back. You know.
Listen, I think I don't know that I could pull the trigger on
a
a face
face
tat. I don't think they're bad. I actually think some are pretty cool.
like that one.
That one not so much, but I used to be like weird about like I didn't want my hands or my neck or something. Now I'm kind of going to the point where I think I want my hands and neck. I think that'd be pretty dope. And I don't think I could ever do head, or face. I don't think, and not that I'm against it because I think some head tats are pretty cool.
I think the
Probably.
ones
I
that are the
bet-
designs
I bet
are
if
nice.
you
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you went bald, you'd probably do it.
Yeah, maybe if I went bald. Yeah.
Don't go bald.
No, I'm not gonna.
I don't
I'm gonna
think he's
try
gonna
not
do
to
it
go
by
bald.
choice.
This
I'm
dude
just
up here,
saying.
get this Joker dude. What's this? This terrible face.
Oh,
Look at this dude,
Oh
man.
no! Why'd you do that, dude?
Bro,
Wow.
You
that's
got.
good, man.
Got some troubles.
Yeah.
I saw this funny thing. It was Boont
not
Gang.
What
and
does that say up top? What does that say? Flick?
Here?
I don't know.
No, the other side. Flick. What is that?
I think that
No, it
says
says
fuck off.
fuck.
Oh, fuck off. I thought it was an L. It's fuck off. Yeah,
I saw
that guy
this,
don't fucking care, man. He
I
just
saw
don't
this-
care.
this guy. He was a very popular Instagram like prankster or whatever, Boont Gang, but now he likes to be called John Gabbana, so I'll call him that out of respect.
Mm-hmm.
But he's got all these face tats, right? And
Right.
somebody was joking on him, and they said that his face looks like the detention
Oh yeah,
table.
desk. The
Oh.
table.
desk.
Oh,
Because there's just it's
Oh, yeah,
all
just
these little
like random
scribbles and
scribbles,
just
yeah,
like
yeah.
a Batman thing right
Yeah.
here, ha 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 right there, a lightning bolt, and
Yeah.
you're just like, man, like I don't know, maybe he's fine with it, waking up and looking in the mirror and like having all this stuff on your face, but I feel like that would bug me.
Yeah, I mean, it would be
You know?
tough.
Well,
man.
I think
don't
it's like
know.
Stretch my
anything
knee out.
that
Oh,
when you get your tattoos, you're getting what you want. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
I
know
guess.
that sleeve of animals, maybe someone would go, oh, maybe
Well,
that
that's
would
why-
bug me to wake up to. Or,
Yeah, I guess
you know,
you're right.
so
No, I
it's
mean,
like
but
you
that's
get what
why-
you want.
That's
Guess you're
why
right.
it took me 20 plus years to start my tattoos, right? Is because I didn't want to wake up with regrets. And I always know I'm going to be an animal guy. I'm
No
always going to love
regrets.
animals.
No regrets.
No,
Regrets.
no regrets. Yes, I don't know. But, speaking of actually see if you can pull this shit up, Jay. Just search green puppy.
What?
Green puppy born. Green puppy born.
What's
I
this
want to
mean?
show you this, Lori. I saw this on the news. The world,
Ew.
why in the world is this puppy green? So the
gross.
puppy, look at this, Lori. I mean,
not
I know you
real.
love dog. No, I
That's
think it
not
is.
real.
You don't think it is? I think it is.
Why is that real? Why is there a green puppy?
I don't know, but I was just that's
That's the
fake.
real
That's
one.
fake. That's
That's just funny though.
no, but I think that like I saw something that popped up in my feed. No, I found. I think it was CNN. Yes, right there, CNN. Why in the world is this puppy green? That's from CNN, for God's sakes.
Wow, it
Not
really is
that is
green.
fake. That is fake news, man.
You act like that's a credible source or something.
No, I think it is. So the point is that
No, I think it is.
you as a dog person, Lori, I
Yeah.
mean, would you want a green dog?
Hell no.
Because you're obsessed with dogs. You're worse
You
than I
act
am.
like I'm not even a dog lover. I'm bigger than her.
No, yeah, you're right. You both are terrible.
I said I wanted 7, and my significant other threatened to leave.
Yeah.
So
Well,
Guess
she's
that's not
also
happening.
she's also deathly allergic.
yeah.
yeah,
She has to leave
There's
one way or the other.
there's that.
I know. stuck in between a rock and a hard place, right? I love my dogs, but it's like
That would be a very hard choice. But like we were
It's not
talking,
that hard.
there's hypoallergenic choices. Though.
obviously the dog. No, I'm just joking.
Well,
Yeah.
I agree. But
No,
that's
no,
true.
no.
That's true.
I was just saying for me.
Yeah, not for you. You got a good one. Yeah, Lori would leave me in a heartbeat if it was between me and the dogs.
But I'm not even joking. I've been on this kick because that's the thing with me. I was like, I love all dogs, so I get on kicks of like what kind of breed I want.
Yeah.
And like I saw this boxer walking around the neighborhood, and boy, do I want a boxer now.
See, I don't like
I
boxers.
love 'em.
I grew
And,
up
like-
with one. They're awesome.
Yeah?
They're
And I
pretty
feel
cool.
so
Really?
bad. Like
Never really wanted
I
one.
feel kind of bad because I really like the way how like it looks with the tail cut off, but like
Yeah,
I feel so
no.
bad like cutting my dog's tail.
Or the
off.
ears where they crop the ears. and
Yeah,
stuff.
No.
we had mine
didn't do that.
natural.
Yeah, we did it just like Phoebe, right? You know, we would.
But she's got the normal ears. We didn't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We didn't clip them.
And she looks so cute with her little floppy ears.
I know you guys are dog lovers. I love dogs too, but not as much as you guys.
So guys, we got
Yeah.
Joanna.
Okay, yeah.
She
Hey, Joanna.
she's from Sweden. She's just
Hey.
trying to say she loved us. I don't know what SEK is. I'm guessing it's the currency in Sweden.
Sure.
But 25.
Yeah.
Shout
Well,
out-
thank you so much. Thank you
You.
guys. Sweden would be a great place to go.
Can we go?
That would be really amazing.
What's in
yeah.
Sweden that's like let me be more specific.
Swedish fish.
Food wise,
No,
like
that's not true.
what's their food that they're like the food that they're known for? Is it like
I don't know.
mashed potatoes and gravy or something?
No, I don't know really.
Yeah, I don't
What
know.
they're,
Let's
with
see, I'll
the
look it up.
food, but they've got beautiful terrain. They've got mountains and it's
Beautiful
just-
terrain. You want to know?
Beautiful
You want to know
terrains.
a beautiful terrain? Scotland in the Highlands.
Heck yeah.
That was one of the beautifulest. If I don't even know if that's a
Most
word, but I don't even
beautiful.
care.
Most
Uh,
beautiful.
There was the most
Marinated
So
salmon
similar to
and dill.
Norway, very similar to Norway, where
Like
they probably
it-
do like lox and
mashed
and stuff like that,
potatoes.
you know.
Anyways, so Scotland, Highlands, dope. There was
Yeah.
things like James Bond was filmed there, like parts of James
Yeah.
Bond. That one show that I don't watch, but everybody else does, Game
Lord
of
of the-
Thrones.
Oh yeah.
But it was just so cool because you're there, and you're surrounded by all these mountains, and it's literally so cliche because you're like right there, and you're like, oh, I'm inside of a screensaver right now,
Yeah.
and because everything is so beautiful that it looks fake.
Surreal,
Yeah.
right?
It's just like that is not a real mountain, but it is. And then you just see a little goat walking on the thing. You're like, damn, that's a goat. And there's like rivers and shit. And it's just so pretty. And you take these pictures with like me and my sister. We're just like, ah. And then you're like, oh, that's obviously
Photoshopped.
Photoshop. But you're
Yeah.
like, no, we're literally there. And there's
Yeah.
like these most beautiful mountains and stuff. Same thing was with the cliffs of Moher.
Yes.
More.
I think it is. Yeah.
I don't know. They have a weird
all
little
good.
accent over there. Moher. Or something like that. But anyways, they know what I'm talking about. That was really cool. And we're really stupid. And I realized that after we got back to the bus. Because there's like a little path, but you're for the most part safe there. But they let you go down to the edge if
And
you
then you'll
want.
fall off.
And it's so windy. And I'm down there on the edge and I'm just like, woo!
Yeah.
And like imagine like if I just got hit with that gust and I'm just like
I'm sure it happens.
They're like,
Oh,
"There's
it
an
happens all the time."
There's an available
Yeah.
seat on the bus.
they tell you that. They tell you that. They're like,
What?
people die all the time.
Oh my
Don't
God.
die.
Don't
But there's
die.
like not fences or anything. One of the guys on our bus actually took a spill, right? Cut his hand real bad. Didn't show up to the bus when we
Oh,
were
so they
leaving.
thought he's
and
gone?
we're like, oh God, like
He's
this
probably
guy's
gone.
dead.
He's
This
probably
guy's dead. And then we just see him like limping back and we're like, oh, there he is.
Thank God. He's,
Yeah, and he needed medical attention, but
Oh,
at
that's
least
You know
he
what,
didn't
though?
die.
See, I am all about that.
Me too.
I am
Yeah,
so
let
over
people
the
get over the
whole,
experience,
you know, American thing to where like, oh, you
Yeah.
can't do whatever. Like
your trail.
survival of the fittest.
yeah, with the
You
barrier.
know, if
know.
you're an
yeah.
idiot
just annoying,
and you
yeah.
fall off a cliff, you know, better for us.
Well, it's like that. It's
You
like
know?
that's like that highway to heaven in Oahu, right? In
Right.
Hawaii,
Yeah.
where they like.
well, they didn't.
now-
they got it shut off.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They
Because
shut
it's-
it down
because
because
that's
there's
US.
a
Yeah.
now there's a like $1,000 fine or $1,500 fine if you're caught doing it.
Yeah.
Whereas for 30 years people used to do it all the time.
Crazy thing about Hawaii, when I was there 2019, it was like during the summertime.
Yeah.
A week before, we did one of these hikes where you're hiking up in this
Yep.
rainforest. No guardrails, right? Super muddy all the time because you're in a
Yeah.
freaking rainforest. And these parents let their 8-year-old kid go in front of them.
Oh shit.
Guess what happened?
Oh,
off.
This little kid took a little spill all the way down the side of the mountain, and he's dead.
That's sad.
And like, imagine that. You're just like walking,
Yeah,
you're
that'd
like,
be
oh,
horrible.
little Charlie, you're so cute. Keep on going, boy. And then he just falls down and dies.
I know.
Oh,
Well, it's
that's not
yeah.
good
You should. Yeah,
parenting.
you don't bring an 8-year-old on a treacherous. But I will say, remember when we went to Manoa Falls?
Pretty cool.
It was beautiful. And I remember, like, my sister was like, oh, yeah, it's a pretty hectic climb up there, but you should be okay. That shit was like 200 feet straight down.
Was that when Noah was a baby?
That was when Noah was a
And
baby.
we had him in the
Yeah,
little
yeah, we had him
carrier?
in his little baby. Yeah. But I mean, literally, I got like 3/4 of the way up, and I was like, I'm going to die. You
Dude,
know?
this is
Yeah, that's Manoa right there.
I think
That's-
this is what we did
Oh,
where
you
the
did-
kid died.
Oh, I'm a Manoa?
I
wonder,
think so, because that's literally, unless there's an identical one, which there probably is,
I'm sure
but
there are a lot of
it
them look
looked
the same,
just
yeah.
like that.
But yeah, I was right up at the top there, right by the falls, and that's like 200 feet straight down.
holding
and like,
Noah over, going.
no,
"Look at
I was alone, but I was shitting my pants, man. I was like, I was like thinking I was gonna die, you know. And my sister's just like, yeah, it's an okay hike. It's like a class 2 out of 5 or something like that.
But those
I'm like,
hikes
what?
get like really treacherous because hikers
Bruh.
they rate it on a different level for sure.
Yeah, that
You
was
want to know
crazy.
some crazy shit about hiking?
What's that?
Man, I have to scoot back for this one. So I made it a goal when I went to Hawaii, same trip that the kid died the week before, that every day when I woke up, Brandon and I were going to go get a little coffee and then go hike to a new hike every day.
Mm-hmm.
One of the last days I'm there, oh man, we go on this hike. We're just like, it says on the app, we download this All Trails app or whatever, it says easy hike, only gonna take 20 minutes,
That'll
right?
do it.
Oh, shit,
And
yeah.
so we're like this, we're not even gonna need water, we're not
Oh,
even gonna
God.
need snacks, we're not gonna
Oh,
need
never do it,
anything,
yeah.
right?
Yep.
So what do? We hop up in there, we're hiking and hiking and hiking. We're like, oh, this is pretty hard. Like, I know it says beginner in 20 minutes, but like, whew, this is getting kind of sweaty. I pull out my phone. I'm like, this is going to be a short one, blah, blah, blah.
Is this when you faced or you
start
did
doing-
Instagram Live?
Yeah, I
Oh.
start doing Instagram Live. I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, shout out Bianca, blah, blah,
And I
blah.
told your mom when you
know?
were doing it. I did. I told your mom, I said, if these guys get lost, he's going to kill his phone battery doing
Yeah.
Instagram Live.
Yeah, so I Instagram Live. Dude, we were on Instagram Live for like 40 minutes. My phone pops up 20%. I'm like, oh, crap. Oh, my God. How long have we been doing this? Already 40 minutes. So we're already double time. And I'm like, dang it. So I got to turn it off. End the live stream, right? We're hiking. We noticed that we haven't seen a sign in so long. We're like, where are the signs at? We're trying to follow paths and stuff. We can't see anything. It's getting to the point where there's so much brush and like debris and like that this is supposed to be a hike where there's a path. And then all of a
You guys
sudden,
went off the
you
path.
went off the path.
and all of a sudden we have to start climbing up rocks. And we're literally climbing a mountain. Not very big, I won't say a mountain, but we were climbing up and we're like, if we fall, we'll be hurt. But this is the only way to go is up. So we end up going
Not
up
turn
here.
around, not go
No,
back
yeah.
where
No, we couldn't.
not where the car is.
We couldn't turn around because we're already an
Lost.
hour and a half deep. So we're like, we can't make it another hour and a half. We can't. We're hiking. Literally, it took us another hour and a half. So we could have turned around.
See?
Right? It was 3 hours in, no water, nothing. I grabbed an avocado off of the ground.
Oh my
right?
God.
I'm like, I'm fucking thirsty. I'm thirsty. I need some water. And my brain,
Dirty.
I know, right? Brandon's like, dude,
Jesus.
don't eat that avocado, man. That's not gonna help you. That's all fat. And I'm like, shut up. I bang it open, bang, 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 on a rock like a caveman.
Avocado or
Yeah.
a coconut?
An avocado.
Avocados aren't hard.
Well, this one was.
It wasn't an avocado.
That wasn't an avocado, bro.
It was probably a
That
bear
would've
turtle.
smashed all over.
Probably a bear shit.
No, y'all are crazy. So I bust that boy open, right? I got this avocado open, and I'm looking at it, and I look at Brandon. He's like, "Don't do it, man. Don't do it."
Maybe a mango.
And I decided not to do it. But it
didn't do it?
was an avocado, but it was just moldy. There, I saw a worm crawling in it. So I was like, I can't get myself to do this. So I didn't need to live that bad.
So you guys live though.
Yeah,
Apparently.
we literally bust out of this like tree, and we come out and we're like, a road, right? So we're on this random road after 3.5 hours. And then Brandon's like sniffing around because he's local, so he knows. And then he's like, oh, yeah, I recognize the smell. And he has, we're looking for a phone signal all of a sudden. And he's like, Dad, we're at the top of Mount Kukanamagia. You know what I mean? And then his dad's like, I'll be there in 5 minutes. We're like, yes, 5-minute drive.
Salvation.
And we'll be saved, right?
Yeah.
We're standing on this road. We're walking down the road because obviously we're like, we'll get to the bottom of the mountain if we walk down. Dude, Uncle Eddie didn't show up for an hour, 15 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
Uncle Eddie took his time.
Uncle Eddie's on Hawaiian tonight.
I know.
That's 5 minutes.
That's 5 minutes.
He showed up and he's like, what's up, bro? You guys good? And we're like,
Just give me some water.
Give me some water.
I almost ate a
So-
bear turd.
I know. But like it was just so scary. So I thought I was invincible. We thought we were invincible. And the story is like, please just, if you're going hiking, just make sure you're prepared. And I know I'm going to be doing it for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
Bringing
drink some
a bunch
water.
of water.
Bring some water.
Your
granola-
battery charger.
Granola bars,
yeah.
everything. But me and Brandon talked to each other when we were on the hike and we're like, we might die here. And
Oh my gosh.
I've had those
there's nothing we
conversations.
could do. We might just die. Like
Jeez.
I was like, there's no jaguars
It's
on this
amazing how
thing,
many
right?
people. It's amazing how many people literally go out hiking and
Never come
or
back
never
home.
come back.
That could have
Yeah.
been me.
Exactly. You
That's
think
what
it's
I'm
like, oh, it's
saying.
just a little hike and then you're dead.
Well, all trails will do that to you too. Where like, yeah, it's like a 20-minute hike, but it's all elevation. Like
Yeah.
it'll be like 2 miles or something, but then it's
Yeah.
all up 5,000
Yeah,
feet.
if you go a half mile, but it's freaking a treacherous climb,
It'll take
like we did
hours.
to Utah,
Yeah,
to Twin Falls or whatever the hell it was called.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, some kind of weird falls.
Bridal
but-
Falls.
Crazy.
Bridal Falls, that's what it was. Yeah. So, we're a couple things, and then we'll get on to answering some questions. I did want to talk about guests. I talked about earlier in the podcast that I did a poll about what people would want to see, and I think the poll was like, Jay, I was going to ask you to pull up, but you wouldn't see the results because you have to be logged in. It was.
I thought you said like
It was like-
39% or something.
Well, yeah. So it was. Would you want a zookeeper?
Mm-hmm.
Would you want other reptile breeders? Would you like pro athletes that are into sports like Burnsy and a couple other guys we know, or paranormal? And shockingly enough, almost half of the 20,000 votes were paranormal. So everyone in the chat, I'd love to know what your thoughts are about it. I mean, sounds like everyone wants us to do some paranormal stuff on here, which would be really dope. I did reach out to a guy here who's local. Haven't heard back from him, but he's been on a bunch. He knows the Ghost Hunter guys and
Venture.
Ghost Adventure guys. Yeah, he's been on the show and stuff like that. And he lives in Royal Oak. And so hopefully I can get him maybe. That would be pretty dope. We also know some other paranormal people, but not
be
as
cool.
famous as a guy like that. So I just thought it's interesting that we are an animal family, but people would love to.
I do
know
have the
about that.
results, by the way. I
Oh,
got
you
it
do
on my
have it.
phone.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. What was that?
It was 44% paranormal.
44%.
And then the next one after that was zookeeper at 24, so almost double
Dang.
the next one, and then 13% reptile breeders, cryptozoologists got 9, as well as pro
cryptozoologists
sport
have-
athletes.
I was a little surprised about the crypto stuff because we have that author from cryptozoology author, and I thought that she'd be a really good guest.
I think a lot of people just don't know what that
Yeah,
means.
might not know it.
because
It's just,
I've never heard of it before
Yeah.
talking to you.
Yeah, so cryptozoology is obviously just the study of cryptids and stuff like that. But interestingly enough, which cryptid is just
Which makes you know exactly what it is.
cryptids would be Bigfoot.
Thank you. Thank you. I had no idea.
Loch Ness Monster.
Loch Ness
Study of
Monster.
cryptids.
Jay, can you pull one thing up for me?
That kind of stuff.
So pull up a former
Chupacabra.
manager, DOD, which is Department of Defense. UFOs are real. I want you guys to see this. This is pretty interesting. I read this earlier.
Of course they're
And
real.
look at this. Or actually, that was actually. I don't think that's the one that came out though. But it might be. Who knows? But because this is from 2017. But this that's fine. It doesn't matter.
29.
Gotcha.
Yeah, maybe it's something. Anyways, it's just interesting that someone that was in the Department of Defense, 25-year veteran of the CIA, Lockheed Martin, something like that. He basically came out and said UFOs were real. So we need to get a UFO
But
person on.
remember that Canadian? I'm gonna
it's
mess it up.
Yeah, it's
Prime
the,
Minister.
It's the Minister of Defense.
Minister of
Yeah,
Defense.
the Canadian Minister of Defense, old Canadian Minister of Defense,
and he
said
was
that
like,
there was UFOs were
with
real.
species, and that
it's
America,
it's like
USA was working with them.
Yeah, it was like
Remember
5
that?
species or something like that of UFOs.
Crazy, right?
So we need to get a really cool UFO person on.
Imagine that. So like, imagine that though.
Yes.
Because it could be a couple different things. Either that guy's office rocker.
Yeah, it could be.
Or he's telling the truth and that they're hiding it from us.
I think there's too many high-level people that have come out with some pretty interesting stuff. But we're going to have to get somebody on the podcast because I've got a lot of questions.
Because you know what they could do?
Questions.
They could be that Men in Black shit where like there are people working with the aliens and stuff, and then before they clock out for work, they're just like, ching, and then they wipe your memory.
Wipe your memory.
And you're like, what do I do for a living?
How about that Lazar dude, right? Bob Lazar.
Bob Lazar,
Bob
yeah.
Lazar, man.
A lot of people say he's bullshitting though.
Yeah, he was on Rogan.
They have for
and,
years,
you know,
but he does have a lot of good points, though.
Yeah,
on
you
top
know,
of
the
that.
interesting thing, a lot of people are like, well, how would you not, if you were a physicist, how would you not remember your, physics professor? The truth is, do you remember your college people? I don't remember my college
I didn't even go to
professors.
college.
I went to one semester of 2 classes.
So what
no,
are the
I
2
don't
classes, right?
remember.
See, that's what I'm saying.
There was
Like,
an English and a psychology, and I hated both
Yeah.
classes. So no, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I remember like I really loved my sociology professor, as well as my microbiology professor, and I don't remember their names.
And imagine somebody that is a physicist who went to school for 10 years. They've
Yeah.
had 100 professors,
Yeah, so I don't know. We've got to get a UFO person on, but let's. What do you?
Let me hit you a couple of super chats real quick.
Yeah, let's hit the
some-
super chats. And maybe we'll do some questions for you guys.
Yeah, there's not many left, but we got
Maloney.
Maloney.
Maloney Langthorne
Says, love the podcast, and Lori, awesome job painting.
Oh, that's awesome.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
she did a really good job painting. She really did. So thank you so much.
Gabriel, is that New Zealand?
Oh,
buddy?
New Zealand. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
We got to
yeah.
get down to
I
New
gotta see
Zealand
New
for
Zealand,
sure.
man,
Good
for
night
sure.
down there, by the way. It's
Shout
very
out
late
good-
down here. Tyler King.
Gabriel.
And then Tyler King just says he agrees with taking risks, and you got to work hard to get what you want.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
you got to work hard. I mean, I think
Follow your dreams.
that's, I got to
Main
follow your
point.
dreams. Yeah. I mean, work hard. And that's, I mean, I guess that's the one thing that we've been able to do for the last 3 decades is probably outwork most people.
Work our ass off.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good thing and a bad thing. I mean, the problem is that, you sacrifice a lot of life, obviously.
Yeah.
You do, but you know what? And then sometimes you take time to do things like
What?
I just ordered
A Christmas
puzzle
tree. Oh, a
from
puzzle.
Amazon.
Yeah.
That
So hyped.
Yeah.
yes,
so hard.
It was
It's impossible.
so it was
hard.
a slight mistake, but it's okay because it's
No,
still
it's
going.
impossible.
It's like a 1,500 foot or
1,500 foot. Jesus shit.
1,500
That's called the Earth.
I'm
Oh
hungry.
my God.
Puzzle, and it has a bunch of Disney pictures in it. But Noah was helping me with it, and when I do a puzzle,
Yeah.
so always find the corners and all the edges
Oh,
first.
yeah.
Well, we really quickly found out that wasn't
impossible.
very good because this one is in a big frame, big
Yeah.
gold frame, and there's a bunch of other
Yeah.
pictures in gold frames. So like 90%
Impossible.
of it
It's
is this
impossible.
gold frame.
They probably tried to do that on purpose.
Yeah, I did
Yeah,
not
they-
even think about that.
they
So we
tricked you.
abandoned that, and we've been hitting different angles.
I was impressed how much you guys got done in the short period of time you've been doing
yeah.
it.
Once we
But-
we took a different approach. Now
But
we're
I
making
told,
some
I
progress.
told your mom this morning that it was impossible. That no one on Earth could do it.
Have you seen
It's
the
not true.
these
No
That's
one
not
can do
true.
it. No,
That doesn't
seriously.
make sense.
No,
I
it's
know.
true though. It's true.
Have you guys seen these ones that are up here? It's all
Oh,
one
shit.
color and different shapes.
Oh, no, that's just
Makes you
stupid.
go to a psych ward
That's
doing
just
that.
stupid. That's not what I'm about.
But I bet you there's some savant out there because
There is.
remember
Yeah.
I watch 'em.
what movie was it that
Chris
just
Ramsey.
recently? No. What movie was it recently where they had a puzzle that was a complicated puzzle like this, and they showed this kid that was autistic doing the puzzle, and then at the end when they put the final piece in, they had done it upside down where it was just a brown back.
Well, I
was
know
in a
you're
movie
I
just
know you're
recently.
saying that's a movie and stuff,
Yeah.
but it's also a thing where in real life that it doesn't even have to be autistic kids.
Sure.
Just normal kids. They'll show them when they have these things like called level 10 puzzles, and they'll be like 10 pieces,
Yeah.
right? But it's a level 10, so it's like completely doesn't make sense, not normal by any means. Don't start by the corners.
Right.
Don't start by the middle. Like it's just like completely random. And since we're just like you said, oh, let's start by the corners, blah blah blah. They don't have that imprinted in their brain yet.
Oh, so
they just grab it and they're just like, okay, well, this piece fits here, this piece fits there, and they do it in like 20 minutes or whatever. When it'll take somebody like you, that whatever lived a long life and built a lot of puzzles, normal puzzles, and it'll take her
1 foot in the grave,
and it'll take you like 2 hours.
You're older than me.
You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
It's just,
no, I understand.
It's weird.
Yeah, no, when when you're taught unorthodox, you're going to be able to solve problems unorthodox.
I seen a girl on TikTok last night that was able to, any word you said to her, she could say backwards with like in an instant.
Oh, wow.
It was
That's
incredible.
awesome.
Like it'd be like
That's weird.
supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. She would do it backwards.
That's awesome. What, Jay, do we have another super chat there?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Johnny.
He says, I would love all of these topics. Love you guys. And if you could shout out his wife and son, Katie and Lyric, that would be awesome.
Hey,
so
Katie.
shout out
Hey,
to you
Lyric.
guys.
What's going on,
Hey.
guys? Thank you, guys.
Lyric,
Yeah,
Johnny,
thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much. I say
Katie.
I say we. Now you're doing a podcast tomorrow, right? With Eric.
Yeah.
Okay, so normally you would do Friday, but Eric is, which I think is pretty. Me and Lori have been talking about this since we've been together. Eric is going to Punxsutawney for Groundhog's Day.
Yeah.
And we've been talking about doing this forever. I mean, one of my favorite movies of all time is Groundhog's Day.
Yeah.
Which
definitely
we will watch.
We will
on
watch on
Groundhog's
Groundhog's
As
every
every
day.
year.
And so Eric's, Mary's sister
A bunch of
lives-
people.
lives
Well,
like close.
she lives like 15 minutes from Punxsutawney. So they're all going to the one sister's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It'll be fun.
So the point is that Eric is going to Punxsutawney for Groundhog's Day, and so he won't be here Friday. So
Yeah.
you're doing the podcast. So anyone that's watching that wants to watch us tomorrow, or them tomorrow, I should say, Eric and Noah will
be
have
live,
a podcast
5
live tomorrow,
p.m.
5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So check that out for sure. And hopefully one day we'll get over to Punxsutawney and see Groundhog's Day. Because,
sure.
Now, didn't I? I guess that the place that Bill Murray stayed in for that movie was obviously fictitious. But
Really?
wouldn't you think someone would build that in
Yeah, why
Punxsutawney?
wouldn't
I
they?
don't necessarily know.
I thought I heard that. I thought I heard
don't
that.
know.
Jay, do you want to take a look at that? Just see
God.
if Bill Murray's Groundhog's Day
The B&B he
B&B
stayed at.
is real. I thought I heard that it was not real, but if it wasn't real, that's a business opportunity. I think is to go build.
You should get the domain. Go,
Yeah.
Oh,
Get the
God.
domain right
I'm
now.
gonna punch
Jump
you,
on it.
Jay.
Sorry. It's
But if you built that exact place, I would stay there, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that would be dope, man. It should have like cold water, never water. Yeah, have the same
make the
top-
whole horrible experience.
Yeah, like totally, whole thing.
You have to have the
let's
clock
see,
that you
Groundhog
smash every
Day,
day.
woke up every morning.
it's been sold.
Oh, it's been sold, so it was real.
Yeah, it was a
See?
real. It
I
was
thought
called.
it was.
It's called the
been
Cherry Tree. In
700K. Shit. Wow.
But they probably made a lot more.
Yeah, you wonder. I wonder if you could stay in it. Yeah, we should look into that and see if we could stay in there one
If
They
and
day.
when we
definitely
ever
did.
go.
We're gonna go.
You probably got to make that reservation like at least a year in advance.
I think the hardest thing about that, I was telling Eric, is I know I've talked to a couple people that have been, is you have to get up at like 3 a.m, and then it's like a couple miles into the town that you can't drive. So you have to like either take a shuttle or walk, and then you're outside from like 3:34 in the morning till Punxsutawney
see-
is like maybe 7 in the morning.
This is the thing, though.
Oh, at least it's only 7.
Yeah, it's only like
That's
4
not
hours,
that
3-4
bad.
hours.
So if I'm going
Yeah.
personally,
Yeah.
and maybe I'm weird,
Gonna be drunk.
I'm not really. No.
3 in the morning.
Why does everybody think that I'm an alcoholic?
That's no.
Is I really could care less if I see the groundhog. If I'm going to go, honestly, I would probably try to plan the day that he relived over and over again.
That would be cool.
You
That's
know
an
what
awesome
I mean?
idea. That's a
good
Yeah.
idea.
Go to the diner, go to the
I wonder if
thing,
you
take
think all those-
piano lessons.
Do you think they're all there though? Do you think
I
that'd
don't
be
know,
so cool
but
if
how
it was.
funny would
That'd
it
be
be to try to like plan that and like
Yeah.
live the day?
No, that's
You got
I
to do the
agree.
snowman, the
You know,
ice sculpture.
again, I think about that. How about this? We should open up a business where you do that for people. You give them
give 'em
that.
the
You
day.
give them the day for Groundhog's Day.
It's a great
Look into that
It's a
domain.
great idea
Scary.
for
Let's
somebody.
get that domain.
Let's
real
get
quick.
that domain.
Somebody scoop that up.
It's
Stat.
a great idea
Fucking
for
stat.
somebody else to do, and I'll totally do it. So I'll
Groundhog
be your
Day,
first customer.
Over and over again.
All right. So Alexis asks, "What happened to the original scaleless ball python, and why do you not breed them anymore?" So it's a really, I guess this podcast is about truth and honesty. First off, I didn't. I definitely think that scaleless ball pythons, although we were surprised we were down at Chase Baker's and he had like a 3-year-old that looked really good. I think that they're not very great animals. You know, I think that there's some issues with the scaleless ball pythons. I think they demand a higher amount of care, and potentially if you don't give them that care, they don't last as long. Now, ours actually was about a year old, and we sent it down to some guys. I won't even mention their name because I don't want the problems with this, but we sent them down to 2 brothers who basically effed us pretty hard. They not only kept the scaleless ball python, claimed it died in a fire. I don't know if that was true, but they also screwed us out of about $120,000 on top of that. So so that was our scaleless project. And at that point, I just was done with it. You know, we took a lot of heat about it. Was a weird thing, another internet weird thing where we took a lot of abuse about the scaleless ball python project, which was weird because then later on when other people produced scaleless project,
cool.
It was totally cool. Yeah,
like,
no one
cool.
complained. Like,
They
that
did
was
it.
awesome. Congratulations. But when we did it, it was like, I can't believe you would do that. And it was weird because, of course, we had worked with scaleless corn snakes and scaleless rat snakes who really did well and still to this day thrive. I mean, they're just like a normal snake. So we had no reason to believe the ball python would be any worse than corn snakes or rat snakes.
Yeah.
As it turned out, they were. I liken them to silky bearded dragons.
I was going to say there's a lot of genetic mutations that are just weak or have issues.
Sure.
And that just had to be one of them. And some of them, as you breed them, get better. And maybe that's the case. Maybe now that it's been so many years, like some of those things have been bred
I mean, there's a chance that someone could eventually produce scaleless ball pythons that are great and thrive 100%. I just, the experience we had wasn't very good from a number of standpoints. The fact that we kind of got screwed in the end, the fact that we took so much abuse online, and the fact that the care was a little bit, they go into like rapid shed cycles, you know, so they shed, 2 weeks later they go back in the shed, 2 weeks later they go back in the shed.
Which would have to have something to do with like its metabolic cycle, I would assume.
Well, I've said this, I find what I would like to find out is we know like hairless cats, which is basically the same mutation as a scaleless snake, right?
Sure.
It's a recessive mutation that's lacking keratin. Hairless cats have a higher heart rate and a higher body temperature. And so they live a shorter life because their heart rate is higher, and it's going to shorten it. Everyone has only so many beats in their heart.
Is that the same for, say, skinny pigs or the hairless rats, too?
It's exactly the same as them. Yeah, exactly. So I wonder if scaleless ball pythons will live a shorter life because their heart rate is up. Now, interestingly enough, maybe the fact that there's ventral scales on corn snakes and rat snakes,
for sure.
Maybe there's enough to where, it doesn't have as, maybe even scaleless rat snakes and corn snakes have a shorter life, but maybe it's only a small amount shorter, whereas with the ball python, maybe it's shortened from 20 years to 3 years or 8 years or whatever the case may be. So anyways, just, I guess for me, it was like bad juju. You know what I mean? Like you just go, all right, man, it was not a good experience. It's not to say we'll never produce them again, but I don't see us working with them too much. Would you agree?
100%.
Yeah. So there you go. That's your long thing. Can you guys keep my kitty in your prayers? Oh, what happened to the kitty?
Well, yes, we definitely got
sorry.
you.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
Whatever happened to your kitty, we'll pray for it.
I'm sure you guys are so bad.
Sorry.
You guys are so bad.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
Okay. So
I'll be praying.
let's get to the next one.
I'll be praying for your kitty. All right, let's start the next.
I don't know what this
sorry.
this says. I start the bidding at $10. I don't know.
That's Andy Gabbs. As a matter of fact,
it's Andy.
Where are you? What,
Oh yeah,
Andy's
wait a
flying in
minute.
tonight.
It's 6:30. I have to pick him up at the airport in 3 hours.
Yeah, so Andy, our buddy
I thought
Andy
you were
is.
going to say now.
Oh shit, he's at the airport.
What's he? He's like, hey guys, can you pick me up? Here's $10.
Please, somebody.
Get an Uber.
What Andy doesn't realize is we are not picking him up.
We are. He's listening now. He can't say that.
No, Andy, our buddy's coming into town from New Orleans, and so we'll see him later on tonight. Did we already do Johnny Novel or?
Wait, what's this guy's? We missed one.
There we go. Finally, super chats.
Oh, Mike. That's my guy, Mike, right here.
That's the jeweler guy. What's up, brother? Yeah, it's
What's
cool,
up,
man.
brother?
Yeah, it's cool. Well, I appreciate everyone that did the super chats.
Yeah,
let's
Andy raised it to 11.
We missed one.
Yeah,
We missed one.
You missed one?
Yeah, it was the guy with the kid named Lyric. There was another one.
There was
up
another
there.
one with him?
Yeah. This one right here.
Okay, next time you guys come to Noah's Ark. Oh yeah, down in Atlanta. Yeah, awesome. Definitely. We'll
What's
keep you in
Noah's
touch.
What's Noah's Ark?
It's an animal refuge down in it's like a sanctuary type of thing down in Atlanta.
That's
Really,
cool.
really cool place.
What was the
man, really
spider
cool.
monkey's name?
name's-
Gabe?
Gabe, yeah.
Oh, he was
Gabe,
so
yeah,
cool.
the
He
spider
was a
monkey's
good driver.
Really good. Yeah, no, he was great.
Dope.
That's a really cool place. So super chats. Let's see if we missed anything else.
That was Mike. That was it.
This one right here.
I love you guys. My girlfriend and I are planning a trip to visit the Reptarium in May. Hope she can get over her fear of snakes. Please do.
We'll get her.
We do really well with people that are fearful of snakes at the Reptarium. So
We
why don't
got
we
you.
why don't we answer a handful of questions that aren't super chat?
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, pound
the
some
last
questions in.
5 or 10 minutes or so, something like
Pound
that. Brian, you should give a shout out to Nerds Podcast. They're having one tomorrow. Oops. I guess, it's at 5:30 or 8:30, so you guys should be done by then. So Nerd, obviously good guys over there. Love the guys over at Nerd. They do cool stuff. Kevin's one of the geniuses.
Mom, this
when it
one's
comes
for
to-
you. What
go
is
ahead.
your Hogwarts house?
Mm.
Dad's a Slytherin.
Yeah,
Duh.
Slytherin.
I mean,
come
we're-
on.
come on.
Come on now. Come on now.
I always like to consider
I
myself.
think I'm a Gryffindor.
I think you're a Ravenclaw. I feel like
I'm a
Ravenclaw
I,
there.
I
Really?
don't know. I
Jeez.
don't know. I'm a Gryffindor.
You're Gryffindor.
Whoa.
Just cause I don't know. It's just I'm very basic. Harry Potter.
Okay. Any plans to expand the reptile zoo further out into another country? Yes and no. Noah probably doesn't want to hear
No.
this. No, we're talking about China. We're talking about China.
China.
We've talked
Yo,
about that.
chill. Let's wait till Corona's done,
Right.
bro.
If there's a China left in the future, we're gonna be there.
We'll be there.
There'll be a Reptile.
Yeah, I'm not visiting China
No, we're-
anytime soon.
We're
Y'all can keep
we're
that.
we're working on some paperwork over there. The government's a little bit different over there, obviously. So we're working on some paperwork, hoping for positives. And if that does happen, we are looking at
See ya,
Beijing
Andy.
and Shanghai. So that's a possibility. And then we do have some potential other plans on expansion beyond this expansion. We'll talk more about that in the future. So what do we got here?
I did see a question before that said, "Where did you and Lori meet?"
Oh, how did you and Lori meet?
Or, yeah,
Really,
how?
we just we met at so we went to the same high school, but she was a year and a half younger than me there, and we met at one of my good friends' girlfriend was friends with Lori, and so we met at a party
That's
on her
cool.
18th birthday.
Wow, how romantic.
Super
It was her
romantic.
18th, yeah.
That's so I hear.
And yeah, I was just about to
So,
say.
yeah,
we
so the
won't
story goes a
say
little
the
bit
rest
worse.
of it.
Yeah, the story. I was trying to make the story a good story, but it turns
It
out
is a
that
good story.
it's a good story. So basically, what happened was, and this is really a true story.
It
That-
is.
It is a true.
True story. It was my 18th birthday, and it was a party,
Yeah,
so I was drinking.
yeah. And she didn't remember me the next day. So,
Oh no!
But that's
So-
how they met.
yeah. So when I
That's scaring me.
I know. I didn't know
I was
what that
like,
was either.
what is that?
so when I contacted my friend the next day to say, hey, I'd really like to go out with Lori again. When Lori, Kathy, messaged or contacted Lori, she was like, I don't remember that guy.
Yeah. I was like, what does he look like? And they're like, oh, he's got hair down to his ass. And I was like, what?
Doesn't sound like someone I was interested in.
But you got to tell your side of the story because that's the sweet part.
The sweet part was this is really the true story. I swear to God. I swear on my life this happened.
No, your
I-
mom vouched.
Yeah, my mom vouched for me. I went home that night and I was sitting at our kitchen table talking to my mom, and I said I met the woman I wanted to marry. That's serious.
So
and that's
apparently,
no, it's seriously
apparently
true.
I believe
I
you.
made a very good impression.
Yeah.
He liked drunk Lori.
That's why he's
Why he wants to get you wind up?
That's why he's pushing it.
Oh my
Baby
god.
drunk
Brings
Lori
me-
is
It all
the
gets
best
connected.
Lori.
Yeah.
Wow.
It all connects now. No.
I
It
know,
makes
it brings me back
sense.
to that 18th party. Yeah,
Wow.
18th party.
That makes so much
Yeah,
sense.
now everything comes to full
Wow.
circle.
Full fruition.
Are white bearded dragons fake? No, there's actually hypo zeros that are really cool. They're pretty pretty much white. I mean, they're a little off, but some are pretty darn good. Let's see, what do you got? We got anything in particular that you guys like in here?
I see this one. Will you give a chance to a fan to be on the podcast? Eric and I have been talking about this,
Yeah.
not necessarily sitting down on the podcast, but we
Okay.
really want to do
Call-ins.
this thing where voicemails.
Voicemails.
Just because
Oh, that's a
call-
good idea.
It's a good idea.
Well,
yeah.
there's other podcasts that do it, and that's
Yeah.
it's not my idea, but it's just like I want to steal their idea, to be
Sure.
quite
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
But the reason why we couldn't do call-ins is because one person can ruin everything. They
Yeah.
can just call in, and they can just say a bunch of crazy stuff and get our
No, that is-
stuff
that is-
taken down. That's why I would
yeah.
have to do the voicemail.
Yeah, that's
leave
actually
like
yeah.
your little message, blah blah blah, and if it's something we'd like to touch on, we'll take it. So I'd say potentially in the future, with the voicemail.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea, and that I'll let you guys do that on your podcast. I think it's really cool. Let's see here. Expand downstairs across from next door enough. Kind of back cave. And
Hey.
Ashley Jones knows all about my plans.
Okay, somebody asked if we'd get a sail-fin dragon.
Oh, I would love to.
No,
Yeah.
what are those? Because I can't picture
Yeah,
in
so
the top of my head.
they
what they
almost
are.
look like something out of Godzilla or something like that. Can you pull one up, Sailfin? The best ones are the Filipino, but even if you pull those up, it'll be fine.
Whoa,
They're
that's
really, really
pretty.
amazing. Yeah, those are the Filipinos right there.
It's a little bit of a glare.
So the only problem, see his face right there? They always have bashed up faces, man, because they don't like
are
to
they,
be.
Are they captive bred or no?
You can get some. There are not a lot of captive bred ones, and occasionally, but they're so skittish that they freak
smash
out and they
into the
smash
cage.
their face into
Yeah,
the cage.
something like that wouldn't be good. We don't.
So it's
want-
almost
yeah.
I've only seen a couple that don't have a mashed
Pretty.
up face. They're
And
beautiful.
they're awesome. They're like one of the
Yeah.
coolest lizards
Oh,
out
they're
there.
so good. Reptile up in Toronto has a tame one that
Get
looks
out, what?
really good.
Kind of like
but yeah, so
Andy, the little
yeah, little Andy, yeah, but bigger. Yeah, these are huge. They get like 3-4 foot body length. I mean, they're maybe 2.5 foot body length.
Yeah.
Real footage of frozen wooden boat in Turkey of Noah's Ark. The footage of the frozen wooden boat in Turkey. Is it Noah's Ark? You guys may not know it, but it's actually an interesting story. Maybe we'll cover that one day. I think I don't know how I feel about that one, to be honest with you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
So Noah's Ark, of course, was supposed to be on Mount Ararat and blah blah blah
Gotcha.
blah, and so they think that there's they've seen a satellite footage of maybe what looks like a boat.
Get
in the
out
island.
of there.
Yeah.
But the Turkey government won't allow people to go there. So
Yeah.
that's the whole.
I
And
watched
then
a
it starts
doc-
a conspiracy.
And then
'cause-
it starts
I watched a
conspiracy.
documentary on that,
Yeah,
and it seemed pretty compelling. They found like a piece of wood.
yeah. I think you're right. I think it was
No,
like maybe yeah. I
legitimately.
think you're right. Yeah, I think they found a piece of like actual wood that might have been from a boat, but then
Yeah.
the Turkey government now
That's
will not allow
exciting.
anyone else on the thing.
It is exciting.
John
John, my boy Johnny boy,
Phillips.
big hello, the Checkies of the West Wales.
Wales.
Yo, shout out Wales. You know, what's his name? That footballer over there. He played with Ronaldo
Nice.
on Real Madrid. He's from Wales.
Nice. Wales is awesome. I'd love to go there.
I'm blanking. I haven't been stepping up. I've lacked on my football game over the last
I
couple
like
years.
that one. Voldemort would be a great name for your new snow red-eared slider.
Voldemort.
That's
is
not a bad
cool name.
Oh,
name.
that
That's
is
a
a
good
good
one.
one.
That's a really
Yeah.
good one.
That is a good
Voldemort.
one.
You know what reminds me of Voldemort? There was this scary movie many years ago. It was like really like total C, like
cheesy.
cheesy as could be. But the main like guy that turned into the demon's name was Voldemort.
What?
And ever since I've loved that name, so that's a cool name.
That is a cool name.
All right, couple more before we let you people.
I know.
away.
I gotta pee. Gareth Bale. That's it. Thank you so much. I was blanking, but that is exactly it right there.
The
Oh,
football
the
player,
name
right?
He is so good. He was one of my favorites when I used to watch soccer, as we call it, in high school a lot. But I kind of fell off after I graduated and started doing real life things. But
Someone asked if we ever watch Small Guys on YouTube. You know?
no. Question for Noah.
He says no, and just question it out. No. I don't care how many subs someone has. I'll watch them. I don't watch a tremendous amount of reptile YouTube though. To be totally
I
honest
don't
with you,
watch any
I watch a
YouTube,
lot of
so.
YouTube, and a lot of the people I watch have very small followings. But if there's a good anything,
As long as they're cool and
Yeah.
like the quality of the stuff looks pretty decent, I'll watch anything.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like I don't look at subscribers just that way. Let's see what he got.
Why does everyone want us to breed bearded dragons? Everyone
I
in the
think it's just
comments.
one guy commented.
Oh,
Now's
okay.
the time.
Yeah,
Okay, because
yeah.
I keep seeing that. I'm like, what do you mean? Like,
No, we did it,
And it
They
didn't work.
Well, they take
Raphael,
up way too much space.
hey guys,
Yeah.
which countries have you visited in your life? Have you ever been to Brazil?
I
My
always
favorite
wanna be
snake is a
there.
yellow rat snake. Nice, I like yellow rat snakes. We've been a lot of places.
Not to Brazil.
Not to Brazil. No. I
would
want
love
to get down
to.
to Brazil. Yeah, Brazil.
I
is,
wanted to.
Yeah.
I wanted to go to the World Cup when it was there, but
Oh my gosh, that
I
would
was
have been sick.
I was in high school, so I
Yeah,
just
it
didn't
would've
have
been sick.
the funds for it.
I remember when the World Cup was in South Africa. That would have been dope.
Africa.
South Africa, Blick.
Blake.
So I'd like to get down to Brazil. Of course, you can't keep snakes in Brazil. Did you know that? You're not allowed to keep snakes in Brazil.
Why is that? Because
the law.
The habitat is
just the law. They just have a law against keeping snakes. But Brazil is pretty amazing.
oh dang, we got hit with the couple.
Hey,
right
Michelle.
here.
Hey, thank you, Michelle.
Yeah, Michelle's great. Like I said, she's a great support for everything that we ever want. Not only does she run the Reptile Keepers for Brian Barczyk, but she also, anytime we ever need anything, she's there for us. I mean, she helps us out with care sheets, and the whole group is really an amazing group. So I definitely suggest you guys show it some love on Facebook for sure.
Thank you, Michelle.
Let's see.
And Alexis.
Alexis says, thank you for asking my last question. The Marquis family, is it Marquis?
Yeah.
Family
that sounds
loves you
good.
guys. Have thought of Australian or Chinese water dragons. I would love to get an Australian water dragon.
What does that look like?
They're kind of iguana-ish, Chinese are cool too. They're just not quite as interesting as the Australians. Australians are like, you see them running around all over the place. Remember when we were at
Australia?
at the Australian Reptile Park. Yeah, when we were at the Australian Reptile Park, they're
Those
really
are
cool.
interesting.
Yeah, they're really cool. You don't see them around much here in the States, though. Unfortunately, that's the problem.
They're like the anole of Australia.
They really are.
Wow.
They remember when we were in Mexico last year, and there are all those little Tinosaurus, the spiny iguanas, just running around everywhere. We were actually at Chichen Itza the one year, and they were all up in the cracks and crevices. I mean, what a cool thing! I wish we had big lizards and snakes just crawling around.
Yeah, we don't really got
well,
much.
you got stuff down in South Florida. Obviously invasive.
Yeah, which that's I get you.
But that's still cool. I like it. I know it's terrible. By the way, did you hear? I don't know if you heard. I'm sure you didn't hear this. Do you know there's a law right now pending that is going to make keeping iguanas or tegus illegal in Florida? Interestingly enough, I wonder what that's going to do to Ty Park's iguana land.
Yeah.
Because
I wonder if you could get a permit.
Yeah, if he's already
maybe
be established as
it's
a zoo and stuff, he should be fine.
I'm sure Ty. As a matter of fact,
it's just not pets.
It's interesting. I think you're right because I think Ty had to get rid of his tegus to get the permits.
Gotcha.
They wouldn't let him the zoo permits without getting rid of his tegus.
Weird, you wouldn't be
his
grandfathered
tegus.
in.
Yeah, he loved his tegus. I know it was a really hard decision, and his place looks dope. I mean, it's going to be
really cool.
so
We gotta check it out.
amazing. I can't wait to get down there. But yeah, they're talking about making it illegal to keep tegus and iguanas.
Which is weird because they're already everywhere down there. So
I
that's
think that's
it.
why, because that's the problem. I was just having a conversation in the Reptarium with somebody about that.
Yeah.
We don't have those issues in Michigan because people let stuff loose like idiots, and it can't survive. But the problem is in Florida, everything can survive, and then it takes over and causes this problem.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much.
One bad apple
The
ruins
problem
the
is the
bunch,
humans, right?
Yeah. And a lot of that stuff. Yeah, I mean, we won't get into the origins of it and stuff like that, but it's crazy when you're down there. It's just nuts how much stuff is down there. So,
hurt.
Yeah, same.
All right. Why is the chat talking about smoking weed?
I don't know.
There was
Happens.
people really want me to breed with RJ. That's just weird, guys. Not happening.
You to breed with?
Yeah, they said let's make Noah gators.
Ooh.
And I was like, I don't think
Not
that's
a bad idea.
scientifically possible.
We could make a plushie.
Yeah, we could do that like a gator with a Noah head.
Yeah.
And just me smiling.
Tracy
Or
wanted me to
Noah
shout
body
out.
with a gator head.
Tracy wanted me to shout out Georgia. So,
That would be disgusting.
Georgia, shout out.
Yeah.
Okay. Want to take two more, and then be done?
Yeah, let's take a couple more and then we're good.
Yeah, it's been fun. You guys have an okay time?
Oh yeah.
We didn't cover
Always have a
some
good time.
topics, so we got some other stuff.
It's
we'll
all
talk
good.
about.
I think it was great.
I think it's like nice not to have too much
I think
topic
so,
stuff.
too.
You know?
The structure kind of makes it feel forced.
Yeah, and
right?
I know some people talked about that. They're like, I wish there was more structure. But I think that's kind of what it's a conversation.
the
You know?
point.
Yeah, it's
I don't
like
want
a
to be in a
conversation.
structured one.
No, no. That's what I was saying. Is I like it without those. So
Nobody needs structure.
Especially because most of your day's structured, right? So like by the time you get to this, it's nice to at least be kind of.
do you need
creative.
an RN on your staff? Love to work with reptiles. We could probably use an RN. Just
in
because
general.
we're so sick.
Just in
Eric is a
general.
hypochondriac. I'm kind of a
Yeah, you kinda
hypochondriac.
are too.
So yeah, we could use an RN on staff. We should get a masseuse too, right? Or is it a massage therapist? I always say masseuse. My bad. Massage therapist. We should have someone on staff.
Well, we're gonna.
What?
The
The
freaking
snake massage. Yeah, but that's not the same thing. I mean, anyway. Let's move on. Okay. Make Noah a gator blush. What? What is?
I don't know, dude. It's that time of day where like people are just losing their minds a little bit.
Don't read the stupid shit.
All right, is that good? We good?
Let's see. Any advice
more?
for the daughter wanting to get into a career with reptiles, or be a vet, breeder direction. I think that parents should always, well, not always, but most of the time support their children's, passions. And if she's passionate about working with reptiles, whatever that is, whether it's a vet, a reptile breeder, a zookeeper, or a biologist. No, not a stripper.
What? What's wrong with strippers?
They make bang, dude.
We need strippers.
Shitching.
Yeah, but no one wants their daughter to be a stripper, Noah.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? So that's never.
But what if she's the best stripper?
That's usually not something that any father would want.
let's
their
wait.
daughter
My
to-
daughter's the best stripper in South Florida.
We're gonna put a pin
That's something
in
to be
this.
proud of, baby.
Yeah, wait till you have a daughter.
Right, wait
yeah.
till he's
Miami's-
married and has a kid, and then we'll bring this topic up again. And I bet his.
Yeah, I'm going to get you a shirt. My daughter's the best stripper in the South.
In South,
South
Florida.
Florida.
South
yeah,
Florida.
let me tell you.
Okay.
That's high tier. Too.
That is
Yeah,
high
it's
tier.
high tier.
Miami's popping.
Yeah, you guys are great. Man. So, hey, listen, this was great, man. We'll see you guys next Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow. I know.
Yes, tomorrow. Eric
join
and I
us-
going live.
going live, 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So this was fun. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you guys watching. Definitely make sure you subscribe, share. Now you can listen on Spotify
and
pretty
Apple
soon.
soon.
Apple soon and all kinds of other stuff. So check that out as well.
Yeah.
Love you guys. Appreciate you being part of our fam.
Thank you
We
guys.
got one more super chat before we get out of
Oh.
here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It says that he just got a rough scale, and that was pretty much it. He just
Oh,
says,
nice.
"Love the
Carnata. I love those guys. I got eaten up by one down
we
in
go.
Thank
in
you, Sam
South.
and Boa.
Yeah, Sam and
appreciate
Boa
it.
again.
Oh yeah,
20?
they did
You
again. Yeah, thank you so much.
donated
You guys
earlier.
are awesome. Yes, Carinata are beautiful snakes, man. I need. That's a snake I want to get. That's what I should get for the Reptarium. Actually, an expansion is a rough scale. That's a good idea.
All right, guys.
All right, cool.
Thank
Go
you
ahead.
guys for checking in, and we are checking
Checking
out. Peace.
Boom. That was awesome. That was fun.